Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Danganronpa Debrief / tier list. I can't believe we made it, honestly. I cannot be happier to be here. I can't believe we made it through Danganronpa. Allison, you've beaten Danganronpa!
I've beaten Danganronpa. This is absolutely wild. Oh my god. You've beaten Danganronpa twice.
It's more than twice.
More than twice.
I've only beaten V3 twice, but the other ones I may have played more than twice. But that's okay. That's all right.
Oh, so funny. Hi, everyone. I just want to say hello to chat. Hello. Oh my god. Yes, it's our faces. We're here. It's a special occasion, so we wanted to like be here for
because
this. Not that we've never not here, but
oh yeah, we're always here. But like, yes, it's just Danganronpa, but also it's Danganronpa, and we have spent the past 4 years playing this series. And we've been talking about how much we wanted to do like a tier list and something when it was all over, and it's amazing when those moments finally catch up to you, and you're like, oh my god, it's here, we can do it. We can talk about it. We can say all of our stuff.
It honestly happens so fast. Oh my god, thank you, Batty Belfry, and thank you, the Ratner. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. It happened so quickly. Like, a little bit, like, very small behind the scenes. Like, we were playing and recording V3, and then it was like, suddenly it was done, and then we're like, oh, that's it.
We had a metafiction day because we suddenly hit the wall of the end of Danganronpa, and we're like, we have to go like talk about metafiction and watch WrestleMania and think about the places where reality and fiction clash and come together. It was a really good day, actually.
Yeah, it was so surreal because again, this is oddly kind of somewhat dating the episode, but I'm not going to say like which day exactly. But we finished Danganronpa V3, and then we immediately went and watched WrestleMania, and the like surrealness of that, like of just thinking about media and performance and suspension of like disbelief and like this playing within those spaces. Like, it was just really like, oh god, this feels like we're kind of just watching what this game was yelling about right now.
And it was beautiful.
It was great,
and it was absolutely beautiful.
So good.
So hey, it's been a little bit since you finished it. How you feeling about Danganronpa? I've
been spending the past like 2 days trying to convey to my very poor beleaguered coworkers like what this experience has been, because I haven't had, like, other than like you and Victor. Sorry, Victor.
Yeah,
like I haven't had
poor Victor. You've been such a trooper, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Victor. I haven't had anyone else to like talk about it with, so I just start talking. I just start like saying shit, and I feel like I tweeted yesterday just like how I think what's really going to stick with me are the fact that even though this series has a bunch of flaws, like it definitely does, and like it does a lot of things wrong, I think when it does things right, it does it really right. And I know that you and I have talked about this, Gina, that like when Danganronpa is like hitting, it like hits real good, both like with its narratives and like with its characterization and with its meta stories. Like, it's just I love that. The other thing that really will always stick with me about Danganronpa is like how the fuck do you even describe it? It's kind of it's a media, I mean, the games themselves, but also the media franchise kind of defies all category. Like, you can categorize it as like, a Hunger Games style killing game, like, satire. You can categorize it as a shooter. You can categorize it as a visual novel. You can categorize it as an anime. It's just like,
and just straight up a mystery story.
And a mystery.
That's what it is a mystery anthology.
Yes. Yeah. It's just like all over the fucking place. And I kind of love that it can't really be pinned down. Dark Souls of the visual novel murder mysteries. Yes. I saw someone compare.
Okay, I mean, you're not wrong. That's not wrong. In fact, that's more right than it appears on the surface, actually, if you think about the Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 are actually, I rescind my skepticism. More right than it seems.
The comparison, that's was it Cinder 22 made to V3 and Dark Souls 3. I'm like, it's fair, for sure. So how about you, Gina? How do you feel beating Danganronpa the series 2/3 times?
Oh man, I mean, what I'll say is that I loved it. I thought I really loved Danganronpa when I first played it. And played it because I got caught up in like the piercing cutting edge of Danganronpa as it was coming out, because I was on the Simply Awful forums. I read all of the the fan translations. I got that like really fun, like, I'm in the know of this cool thing ahead of time, and also there's nothing like it. I don't know how to describe it. So like, I thought I really loved it when it first came out, again, warts and all. But this has been really a transformative experience for it. And part of it is, I think it's really hard not to feel more when the whole game is voiced, even if you're the ones voicing it. And I think it's hard not to feel more about the characters when we're doing a deeper dive into who they are and how they feel and what they want, so that we could act as them. So I do think that had a layer, but I also loved seeing it through your eyes and seeing the mysteries come together when you both know the answer and also are seeing the process of putting the answer together. And you're like exceptionally good at that, so I'm not sure that that's like the normal experience, but it did make me respect like how their mysteries are seated, how they're set up, how they're derailed and lampshaded and or obscured from the audience while still building over time. I ended up respecting the structure and the storytelling of them much more during our playthrough than I did in the past. In the past, I was like, it's a funky, fun mystery game. It's sassy, cool times. But no, I think it's really, really well built. I think their mysteries are excellent. Like, really good. Like, really, really good little murder mysteries. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed getting to revisit them with you, I gotta say.
That's amazing.
Most of them. Despair Girls may have been, like, worse the second time, because it doesn't get better, I guess. Like, I really did not enjoy revisiting the Despair Girls, but 2 and V3 especially, I feel like we're transformed through the experience of playing them with you.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's amazing to hear. And like, I joked a bit. I guess I'm going to actually pause our discussion here and just take a step back and preface this for folks that are joining us. I mean, obviously, if you're joining us, you are probably okay with hearing Danganronpa spoilers, but I just want to say real quick, like, we are going to this is a retrospective, so we're going to talk about the whole series. So spoilers abound. If you're not caught up in any way, I encourage you to go catch up if you can, or go watch our final episode of V3.
And it's worth noting spoilers abound for more than even just what you've seen on the channel. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. During this tier list, we're going to talk pretty fluently about the Danganronpa 3 anime, and we all just collectively need to be cool with that. I don't really know what to say about that, except for the fact that, we've seen it. So we're going to talk pretty aggressively and with opinions about the Danganronpa 3 anime.
Yes. Bit of the elephant in the room. I know it's not on the channel yet. That's all. This will be a VOD, yes. We'll share this, so not to worry, for sure. I also saw a question for
the Nagito. I started sliding back and then I slid forward because you're in the middle of talking. But yeah, I'll go get my $2 Nagito.
Gina got the $2 Nagito. I paid full price for the Junko, which honestly, as she deserves. So,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Nagito you shouldn't pay more than $2 for, but Junko you better pay like 120%. Here he is. It's the guy. It's a perfectly fine Nagito statue. It's perfectly fine.
There he is. It's $2 Nagito.
We love $2 Nagito.
And then full price Junko is behind me, along with my my like $1 Monami plushie as well.
I don't have the Monokuma plush that you got me in here because Basil may have gotten his nose. So I have a noseless bear, but I do have little Funko Pop Monokuma, as well as my Akane stuffed animal, which is neither here nor there, but she exists.
You have to share the Akane. That's so good.
Okay.
My Monokuma's on my desk at work, like in my office. So, yes, we'll share this on YouTube. Absolutely. Okay, going back a little bit, I know we'll probably do some discussion like throughout our tier list, constructing as well, but I loved the description of like me as the ultimate theorist and you as the ultimate poker face, because holy shit, that was like the dynamic through and through.
What's so funny is outside of the context of our playthroughs, I have a terrible poker face. I am so prone to accidentally spoiling things to people. It's like, unless I build it into my personality that I'm not allowed to spoil a show, I'll be like, well, I'll just tell you one thing about it, and I'll tell you like the core conceit. I'm really bad about it because I get overexcited and I want to share, but within the confines of this structure, I know my rules and I know how to stick to them, so I'm pretty good at that now.
Yeah, you really fell into place with like getting the poker face and the like playing within my theorizing space really well, and I just want to thank you so much because I did not get spoiled at all. I got 0 spoilers for the whole series, which is like bananas.
I'm so glad to hear that. I know. It is unbelievable that we made it through the whole series, because like there's certain things that I'm like, she's just gonna find out. She's just gonna find out, and I just need to be prepared for that. And then there's other things where it's like, when you'd hit on like 2 possible theories and one of them was a dead ringer, there's like the stress of like, okay, I need to play within both of these spaces equally and with equal both passion and also dismissal, which means sometimes I'd be full on talking with you about like, yeah, if that's true, then here's the plot of the game.
You would be like saying shit that was actually true, but I didn't know it.
Yeah, because if I didn't, you'd catch me on it. Because the one thing I do know is when you're gonna catch me on like on if I'm keeping something quiet or not. So I had to sometimes play harder into telling you the truth than lying, which was fun. I'm sorry I've been gaslighting you for 4 years.
No, gaslighting me, but within
positive.
this
Gaslighting positive.
Yeah, positive, like gaslighting within within the space with consent.
Yes, gaslighting with consent.
So good.
It's been really fun. I really do love these half-blind playthroughs. I love getting to experience a game with you for the first time too. But there is something really, really special about, I just love like having people I love play media that I love, because I get to pass it on, I know that you'll enjoy it, but also like you get to re-experience it through your eyes, and I saw it, like I said earlier, it was just a completely different game, and that was wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I felt like I fell into a place where I was like locked in, like you and me, Danganronpa, like I think I get you. Mm-hmm. And like, I think I got into sort of a flow by the time we got into V3 where I was like, I think I can play with this like storytelling, and I think I can play with like what the writers are like throwing down from here. I mean, it really, really fell into place with Danganronpa 2. Too. But by the time we got to V3, I felt like I was like, okay. And like, that was just so much fun. Well, but it also got to a point where I was like, I think just as this game and series has run its course, so has my time, playing with it within its like, narrative space has also run its course too. I'm like, I don't I don't know how much more I could theorize or how much more I could like push it.
Well, you pushed it right up to the end. Like,
yes!
You know, it was a joke, but it's actually not a joke. Like, it felt eerily like the game was made for you. And again, I say that as somebody who played it years and years ahead of you. There was this weirdness where it's like you two were talking. And that was really cool to watch, actually. Because you could read it so well, but it also seemed like it was anticipating exactly your thought process, which is the sign of a well-written story.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It was great fun to watch.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Catroobs, for the sub. Appreciate it. Yeah, also, except for the rhythm games. That is true. It's funny because, like, when I was younger, I loved rhythm games, but the ones in Danganronpa I could not get.
No, especially they seem designed to harm you. Just do
Yeah.
actual damage to you, and that was pretty funny, to be completely honest. All the mini-games didn't seem... I feel like we got through the mini-games, but I'm not sure we played a single one of them.
No. The mini-games were just obstacles keeping me from theorizing some more.
Exactly,
like, that's literally all they were. God, so good. I'm trying to think... on the note of the mini games, before we move on, do you have like a mini game that's like your favorite and like your least favorite from the 3 games? Because
I mean,
it could be the
amount
in any
of
context.
joy I had from both Hangman's Gambit and Mine of not later on, but just the first couple of rounds of Mine was so indescribable, and still, like, I genuinely can still feel it in my chest when I think about it. Really good. The Logic Dive too. I don't know. Every single one of them had their moments.
I can hear, do you want to select the ladder? Like, in my bones. I think I, like, have actually been traumatized by that moment. Like, you were so... I'm done. That was such a great moment of like the disconnect between me understanding what was supposed to happen with the minigame and you being like, I'm about to rip the controller out of your hand right now, Allison.
Well,
like,
people get mad at me when I give you the answers, but
it was so funny though. It was so funny.
Oh my god, that one just made me so, like, that one's gonna stick with me forever, so thank you.
So good. But yeah, I'm just curious about any of your favorite minigames, because I think, honestly, the V3 Hangman's Gambit finally, like, worked. Because, like,
that was, like, they just finally nailed it. They finally cracked the code.
Trigger Happy Havoc's Hangman's Gambit is just like whack, like it's just not fun.
The closing arguments got better over time, just because from a storytelling standpoint the art was so beautiful, and I really enjoyed those. That's not a funny one, it's just sincerely I really appreciated how those came together as the games went on. Yeah,
and honestly I think I'm thinking back on it. I mean, Logic Dive was hilarious and funny because I was just bad at it, and I enjoyed being bad at it. The rhythm game one, the argument armament, I actively disliked derogatory because it just was an assault on my.
It was bad.
Of stimulation, and it's just not fun, and it's just it doesn't work for my brain.
That one also even as a viewer, and not to be clear, this wasn't directed at you, but that one flipped over from being like funny to being painful. Like there were times where I just took my headphone out. I was like, I'm gonna check like my email for a moment until we get through this.
Let me deal with this.
I know. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'll be over here when you need me.
Nobody talk to me. Honestly, I think this is not a mini game, but I think one of my favorite things that each of the games do is like when they start to break down the meta structure of the trials. Whenever you hit the 6th class trial, like I just really enjoy how it sets you up in chapter 5 for, like already pushing what we can within the established structure of the trials. And then when you get into chapter 6, we start deconstructing it and doing something new.
Yeah.
And I just think that is so cool and so clever. And I love how each game did that in its own way. And like it just like continuously like one-upped itself until we got to the end where it's like, where else is there to go? And that is the answer. We're done. Yeah. That's it. So
no, I completely agree. I think it showed also an understanding of their game mechanics and their limitations, but also their strengths. And again, narrative design. This game has really good narrative design, and I love it for that.
So good. I know we will keep talking. We will still be talking, but I think we should probably.
I think it's time to start the tier list.
Put together our tier list?
Yeah. So okay. I have a big important question, which is what are our tiers? So looking over at our tier list, this has a lot of Danganronpa characters, as you can see. Oh
my god. There's some people on here that are like, I'm gonna have to go on vibes because either I don't know them or they're from Despair Girls and we didn't save them. How many are there in total? Victor's asking. That's a great question.
That is a fantastic question to which I do not have an answer. A few, a handful,
over 70.
That sounds
like a lot.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like there's a bunch.
I think to your point, it's fine to include I've never met this person. I don't think I've never met this person is the lowest tier because I do think there are some characters who I am harmed by having met. I think there are characters who are sinkholes to their own media property and simply should never have been conceived as a character or in universe as a person.
Absolutely. I think that we should definitely have a garbage fire in hell tier. They just should not be. They actively take away from our experiences as human beings.
Okay. Yes.
I love sinkholes to their own media property, though. That is really good. I feel like that might be a tier above garbage fire in hell.
Is it better or is it worse?
That's a good question.
We'll have to decide that in a moment.
Yeah. I think we have to have S tier.
A best of the best of the best.
Yeah, S tier. I think maybe we throw up parentheses best of best of the best maybe it's super high school level parentheses S. They are the actual S tier.
Yes, this is the true S tier.
We also, and then I would say we need some equivalent for A. They're good. They're good. That sounds really
just a good character.
Just a good character. We need, I don't know. You said too mid to function.
Yes, I do feel too mid to function. I'm not sure too mid to function is a B or C. I'm gonna give it, let's say that's C.
Okay, that feels like a C. I feel like maybe B we can call reserve course.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh my god, blah blah blah. Okay. I will say I'm starting to feel that maybe too mid to function is above reserve core.
Honestly, I think so.
Because reserve core, no, that's wrong. Because if they're too mid to function, that means they're bad. They're normal in a bad way, whereas reserve core is just simply normal.
Super normal, which would be B in my mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there something missing here? I guess we'll find that out as we go along.
Here, do you think you can recolor them? I don't know if you can do that on the fly, but just so that we go in a rainbow, if possible. It'll be helpful for me. Well, hell yeah. Honor student. Yeah.
Do you want green or red to be good?
That's a good. Well, I think red for best S tier is good, and then we can go green descending into red. Does that make sense? Into orange. I'm maybe making it harder than it needs to be.
This was just how it was.
Oh, that's fine. That works for me. Okay.
Read too positive. We're gonna make Sinkhole just gray. I think Sinkhole is just gray.
Just positive, blue, negative, like Pokemon. Thank you so much.
Yes, exactly.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, can you read off the tiers that we have? Because
yes, we have super high school level is S. We have just a good character. just a good character. We have
that could be honor student. Someone suggested honor student. I kind of like that.
I am fine to add honor student above just a good character. There are certain characters who are simply just a good character.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I don't have to do that.
Yeah, you can get rid of it. That's fine. I like what we've got. I love the suggestion for an honor student title in a tier though. Mm-hmm. That's just cute. I acknowledge you. Thank you.
Fair enough. We have the reserve course, which is for neutral. Just neutral. There's nothing to say about them. They are normal. We have 2 mid to function, which is they're normal in a bad way. I've never met this person, which is somebody who we simply never encountered. Sinkhole, which is a character who drags down the entire media franchise. And Garbage Fire in Hell, which I do kind of think is above Sinkhole. Because I think this is still a character. I think Garbage Fire in Hell is like for characters who are still characters, but we hate them terribly.
You know what? I think that is totally fair because you can have a Garbage Fire in Hell character that like is still potentially interesting, but to us, I'm like throw them away, get them out of here. I don't want to see them ever again.
Yeah, I'm also tempted to add, and just tell me how you feel about this. I'm happy to get rid of it.
What is this?
So this is a saved or cursed by adaptation.
Yes. I love this. Yeah, okay, I know where you're going.
This is for either a very bad character who was made better in adaptation or a very good character who was made very bad in adaptation and who I don't know where to put them elsewhere on the tier list.
Okay.
All right.
Do you think our high level characters are good enough? Do we have enough like slots up there? I think so.
Yeah, and also I think we're probably gonna figure out what we have and what we don't have as we go along, if you're okay with that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can workshop it for sure. Okay. So I love the addition of the saved or destroyed by adaptation because I already know where your brain's at.
I have at least 2, and I know you know who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay, so the very first character, starting off, however we feel about it, and I also realize that you can't see the characters, so I'm gonna put everybody into mid to function until we know where they are.
Or can you just
is Leon?
Oh, bring them in. Okay,
yes.
Okay, Leon.
How do you feel about Leon?
Oh, Leon. Okay. I mean, he's the first one.
He's brutal death, really brutal death.
Really brutal death. I think sets the tone. He's the first blackened ever. I think I think he can stay right there.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's too. He's neutral in a bad way. He's one of those characters where it's like it feels like it was before they tried really hard to make all of the blackened like redeemable. They almost did the opposite thing where they're like, no, it was Sayaka and he wasn't responsible. And then over time they're like, actually, he sure did do a murder and he sure did cover it up with zero remorse and he sure did do all of these things. So like, he's just one of those characters where I think he could be very interesting, but he didn't get much time and what I know of him is not super positive, honestly.
Yeah,
I feel like he's a really good fandom character. He's a character that people like find in the fandom, but when you only look at what is in the text, it's like
he's kind of meh. Yeah. I never really I didn't really connect with him. I remember at the time whenever it was revealed that like he was the blackened, and I mean I guess it was interesting in the fact that it showed that, you know, a character that you just sort of assumed and never would have like suspected could do something like this. And I think that was sort of his thesis, was like, hey, look, it can be anybody.
Yeah, his and Sayaka's though, and I feel like Sayaka kind of sold that story better than Leon did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that he looks like a baseball player, so they did nail that. I think
He'd be so upset. He'd be so upset that you just said that.
He'd
be so mad that you just said that.
I feel bad, but also, like design-wise, if they wanted to
my
evoke
hair, my cool punk guy outfit. No, I'm not a baseball player. I'm a rock star.
He is like a sad ultimate though, because he didn't really want to be an ultimate baseball player, but he was like assigned and designed ultimate baseball player.
Yeah, sorry,
and
man.
That's a little, oh man.
It's kind of weird that they've wasted that concept on the first one to die in the first game and then never really revisited it, but yeah.
Because there's really something to that, you know? Like, assigned baseball at birth. Yeah, like, he really was assigned baseball. So, I think he's mid, though.
Yeah, no,
I think he could have been more, but yeah, too mid to function. All right, who's next?
Akane.
Oh, shit. I wish we had hung out with her. We didn't really hang out with her.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I feel nothing for Akane. Like, not even in like a bad way. I just don't feel anything for Akane. She's fine. I think she eats. She kicks.
She eats. She kicks, and I think she suffers from being a lesser Aoi in my mind.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, between the two, though, they're so clearly a winner. And maybe, and we'll get to that. Maybe that's like the future talking a little bit, but like, I don't know. She just never. I feel like she was there to be DR2's Yasuhiro, and she did no more than that. And in fact, by being a second Yasuhiro, it kind of like lessens the impact, because at least Yasuhiro was funny because like that he lived. Whoa, incredible, remarkable. Yeah, but the second time it's like what? Okay.
You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like the same shtick twice, but it was, I don't know. I wish that, like I said, I wish we had done her free time events, because I feel like that would have given her a little bit more characterization.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as like our experience with her, she's also just kind of mid, I think, for me, which feels bad because I know that she's like a fan favorite for some. Like, I know people like really like her, but I think she's filling the slot of a final, you know, like one of the final characters, and that's kind of it in my mind. Yeah, like I don't even recall. I mean, the most important thing I think was just like her arc with Nidai. Yeah, and like that was good. Is charming. Like, yeah, like that was actually good. So I have to remember that she does have like a character arc. But maybe it's because it happens sort of in that weird middle space of the game. I kind of forget about it and then move on, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think she's probably somewhere between too mid to function and what's the one above it? Sure is a character. Reserve course.
Yeah, reserve course.
Yeah,
we don't have a Sure as a character, but we can have that. I feel like that's too mid to function, though. I feel like that's like the same slot. We can change that to Sure as a character, though, if you want.
Yeah, maybe for now we could change it to Sure is a character, and then if we encounter someone who is truly too mid to function,
all right, okay, but you know that's gonna happen.
It is gonna happen. So
okay, but yes, okay, Sure is a character right now. All right, next, Alter Ego.
I love you, Alter Ego. Amazing. I love Alter Ego.
Okay, where would you put Alter Ego?
I would put Alter Ego up in, I'm sorry, it's just so small for me to see, the orange one.
Just a good character.
Just a good character.
Just a good character.
I think Alter Ego is a good character. I don't know what you think. I mean, maybe
like
it's just because they're
a utility. They're a utility character. And that is worth commenting on. That like they don't really have. They're not really, well, they're not a person. But I think the most interesting thing about Alter Ego is that they don't save Kyoko in the darkest timeline. I think that's really, really like genuinely interesting. I know it's usually chalked up to they just got there sooner because of Makoto's luck, yada yada yada. But like, I do think that's maybe the most characterization we get for alter ego. But in a series where there are MacGuffin plot devices that I don't like, alter ego is a MacGuffin plot device that I love, because not only does alter ego set up well in Danganronpa 1, but it becomes the platform for so many fun things throughout the whole series. Yeah,
that's so true. And then I feel, platform for other things in the series, and like little cameos throughout the series too. And I just find that really endearing and cool. And because alter ego is an AI, they have the ability to just do that. So I think that's, even though alter ego is a plot device, I find them really cool.
Yeah,
and
I like alter ego too. I agree with you.
Yeah, I feel like encountering alter ego in Super Danganronpa 2, I was like, oh my god! Like, it was just so like, because then, I mean, of course alter ego had to be there for the setup and the environment that the game was taking place in. So yeah, that's probably where I mean, if we want to put alter ego in reserve course, which is like B tier, I'm okay with that too. But I would probably put alter ego where
let's
they are
keep
right
them
now.
in just a good character for now. If we feel like compared to the other just a good characters, they fall short, we can move them later. But yeah, I'm happy with them then.
Yeah. Cool.
Next up is Angie.
Tell me about Angie, Gina, because you played Angie like in our playthrough.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Angie?
Well, first of all, I can't voice Angie without my hands up like this, and I don't have an explanation for that. But I kept almost elbowing Allison in the face because every time came time to play Angie, I'm like, okay, Angie time.
I'd be like, whoa.
So Angie's an interesting one because I think she's I think that she is more complicated than she appears on the surface, and that what I see there is super interesting. However, I'm sometimes unsure of what is my own headcanon versus what is actually truly canon to the game. And transparently with Angie, I think it's really hard to make that distinction. Because I think her actions with the student council are really interesting. I think her being utilized as a platform to look at religion and cult behaviors and sort of doomsday groups and things like that is very interesting, but also her way of trying to counter the chaos of the system was very interesting, but also a lot of that may not actually be there. You know what I mean? It's really hard to know what the game wants me to feel about Angie versus what feel about her because I voiced her and because I wanted to have sort of like a connection with her. So I like Angie, but I don't know if I actually like Angie is my summary there.
Yeah, I kind of struggle with Angie because I know that she's like framed as this like mid-game sort of tertiary villain, is kind of the role that she performs. And like, I think that, I don't know, I think they're doing some interesting stuff in there, but like you said, maybe it's not that deep.
Yeah,
you know?
She's knocked out before Danganronpa does this sometimes. She's knocked out before she can explain her own perspective and her own motives, and before she actually fulfills any of her goals. And we're left with a bunch of people who didn't really know her very well, trying to figure out what she was. And so, like, I'm not even saying it's like the game's fault that I don't know Angie, because it feels deliberate, but I don't know her. Like, I'd almost straight up, I'm not even kidding, put her in I've never met this person, because I'm genuinely not sure I know that's not what that category is for, but I'm not sure I know her. And that doesn't feel, that feels deliberate.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there are a lot of, I think Angie's character is a bit of an elephant in the room too, as well. Like, in that, she's this, like, person of color, Polynesian person that is like been not represented well by
especially since Atua is like a real deity that they just appropriated for this narrative. Yeah, she's definitely, sorry, I was talking about just within the framework of the character in the universe, but no, she's I think it is an elephant in the room type of character.
Yeah, I come away from her sort of being like, I'd rather not. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, I think putting her like in the I've never met this person before kind of works.
Because I don't want to put her in garbage fire or sinkhole, because there's a certain quality of character that I feel goes there, and Angie's not one of them. She's just not a very well handled character, and they never really, like, I don't know her.
All across the board, just like she just really could have been handled better, like in how they did like their representation, but also in like how they handled her motives and how they handled her interactions with the characters. And I just don't really know where to put her. So
let's I don't know this person.
I don't know this person. Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Okay.
But I was gonna say too, maybe the adaptation as well, just across the board, like. We could have. Oh, Angie. Next character
is Byakuya Togami.
Oh, it's your other boy.
It's my other boy. I have two boys, and they're the worst possible taste you could have in this series.
You've got great / terrible taste,
just abysmal
Gina.
taste. I will say, my personal opinion is post Danganronpa 3, I'm gonna boldly drop this boy up in super high school level.
He's
rules
100%.
in Danganronpa 3.
Fucking character growth. We love to see it.
Incredible. He tells all his friends he loves them. He communicates. It's probably, arguably, out of character, but I loved it anyway. It was really, really good.
He could also go into bettered by
the adaptation.
Yeah.
There is an argument that, like, I don't know if Danganronpa 3 is accurate to his character, but it is a delight. I'm not, like, just great.
I would say, too, by the time of Danganronpa 2, whenever he's coming into the Neo World program to help with Makoto, he is there for Makoto, and he's like, that is growth. That is still
he's like,
growth,
I will sacrifice my life because I believe in you, and I'm annoyed about it, but I will do it because you're always, because I believe in your ideals. And also, further, I was actually joking about the adaptation thing, because further, you can see the character he is in Danganronpa 3 in Ultra Despair Girls. This is just simply his character arc, which is to become a good guy, just a good guy who loves his friends and is very pompous. But yeah.
And I also love how he's sort of framed as a sub villain in Trigger Happy Havoc, and like even throughout that, it's the reveal of who he actually is, what his actual intentions are, what he's trying to do. He's like, I'm trying to fucking 40 chess here, everybody. Come on, get on my level. Like, you're not on my level. and then to be redeemed by hope and friendship and still be he's just the ultimate tsundere character, you know?
Not even just redeemed, but also diminished by it, or like put in his place by it, because he's so confident that he's the main character of that game, and he's extremely not, but it's only through realizing he's not the main character that he becomes a decent person, and I think that is compelling.
So true.
Yeah.
He literally thought he was like the main character of the story, whenever you're playing Danganronpa 1, and then you have to be like, no, come on back. Like, we gotta work together here, buddy. Love him. S tier.
Yep.
Super high school level. Amazing.
Celeste.
Complicated character. Okay. My gut is to just put her in, like, she's a really good character. Like, I almost, like, weirdly don't even know how much I want to talk about Celeste, because I don't know how much there's to say other than I love her and she's a really good, interesting character. You know, like, I think she's complicated and manipulative, but also compelling and has a charm to her, and also, like, her motives are shallow, and I love that. Like, I agree.
I think she's a perfect example of a mid-game character, because a lot of the characters that get offed mid-game in the series either feel like they didn't get their character arc, or that they were shallow because they never got to the point of growth, or they never got to see that. Celeste has a complete ass character arc, and by that I mean she doesn't change at all, and she makes shallow choices, and we love her for that. Like, I really, really like that by the end of her storyline, you get her, and you feel her, and you see that weird place where she's lying to herself and she's lying outwardly. It's like she's such a good liar that she can lie to herself, and that's really, really like compelling and convincing. And then out, because she never was going to be a character that would have a redemption arc, and that's okay. Sometimes you don't want that. So yeah, I think she's a very, very good mid-game character.
Yeah. Very cohesive, start to finish, like, character arc and storyline, like, works super well. I feel like that's like what gives Danganronpa 1 its sort of footing, is like everything like with her case. I see someone said Celeste ran so Kokichi could fly, and I love that.
I think that's fair. They were testing out sort of the liar archetype there.
I like that.
Just an interesting character.
Good character.
Chiaki.
Oh, okay. I feel weird having this sudden, like, reaction, and I know it's, like, being tainted by my experience with Danganronpa 3.
I know. I'm almost tempted to put her down and saved or cursed by the adaptation, but yes.
She's both simultaneously saved and cursed by the adaptation.
One would argue she's doomed by the adaptation, but...
Maybe that's a different category. I love her so much. You know what? Actually, it's a good question about, like, anime Chiaki versus Danganronpa 2, because technically they're different people.
Yeah, they're absolutely two different people.
If we're gonna, let's talk about just Danganronpa 2 right now. So like in the NPC, the simulation Chiaki, S tier.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
That's where she is. Anime, like the real Chiaki, I would probably put her into just like that's a good character.
Yeah, I dropped her into just
doomed by the narrative. Yeah.
It's really not pre-death Chiaki that's like the she's fine. She's a delight. Her playing Mario Kart with all the 77th class is really, really sweet. It's not that I don't like her in the anime. It's just like the anime mishandles her character so thoroughly that like it pisses me off. It has nothing to do with her. But yeah, NPC is 100% an S tier.
Yeah, that's very accurate. The anime just concludes her character poorly, I think, which is such a shame, because it could have been so like impactful and really good and really powerful, and like her relationship with Hajime. And they clearly like when they wrapped her character in it, they clearly were like, we're doing the emotional gut punch here, and I came away being like, what the fuck was that? Like, sorry, it's frustrating. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, and I'm like, I want to like really talk about it, but we could just like kind of talk about it. So, but yeah, she was definitely fucked over by the narrative in Danganronpa 3, which sucks. But in the game,
half, even the first half of the anime is good too, though. So yeah, I think we can leave her comfortably in S tier, with the acknowledgement that I think my view of her is a little bit different than it was immediately after.
That's fair.
Chihiro.
Chihiro. As like okay. How do you feel about Chihiro, Gina? Like, as a character?
I mean, every single thing I feel about Chihiro boils down to, gosh, I wish we could ever have heard Chihiro talk about Chihiro. And that's really my only that's my problem with Chihiro, is that like what I've seen I like a lot. I really like Chihiro. I love Chihiro's social link. I actually really, putting aside the problematic elements of the narrative, I think the arc of trying to find a gender expression that is comfortable for them, and trying to build their own confidence and struggling with the societal pressure around masculinity is really, really compelling. I think that's really interesting. And I think it could have been interesting, but A, the narrative fumbled it really freaking hard. And B, every single thing I know about Chihiro is either through the words of the person that killed them or Monokuma. And that bums me out. It just bums me out because it's such a missed opportunity, but it also makes me feel like I don't actually, I don't know how much how much stock I put into, context given from those sources. So it just feels like a big missed opportunity of a storyline. That's my full read.
I honestly really agree, and I think there's a lot of crossover with Angie in some ways with Chihiro's character, because it feels like a character that they kind of hot potatoed away. I say they, as in like the writers, kind of hot potatoed away a bit, as like they had a concept for, what they wanted this character to be, but then didn't explore the actual like voice of that character.
Yes.
And like, you can absolutely play with the ideas of societal expectations of like gender roles and gender presentation and masculinity, and if like, if that's what
and I think the conflict
that character's experiencing.
Chihiro finding confidence and Mondo lacking it was really like, that's such an
really cool.
It's so cool.
And
I think that's
the relationship was great.
It's so interesting. It just so I honestly would put Chihiro, and I've never met this person. I just don't know. I just don't know Chihiro.
I agree.
I wish I did, because everything I've seen about them I like, but I just don't know them.
And like, what's so interesting too is that there's that moment in the only thing in Ultra Despair Girls that I feel like I came away with having like a moment was like whenever we meet Chihiro's father.
Yeah.
And just the fact that Chihiro's father like, has this like very defined relationship with Chihiro, and I was just like,
his kids so much, and I love that section is like 5 minutes
great.
Long, and it's the thing that I take away from that game almost the most. I really like that section too.
I agree. Yeah, I just like that was just like so sad and good, and I feel like that gave me even more Chihiro characterization that I was like really wishing for. And like we even like hung out with Chihiro and did like their free time events and everything, and like but that's, you don't explore the gender aspects of their identity like within the free time events, to the extent that it becomes but
not much, because obviously that ends up being such a major plot line that they set it up a little bit. I don't know.
But they don't dig into it. Anyway, I don't know this character. I would love to. They're a character that I'm like, I wish I knew you.
Yeah.
I really, really wish that anything like of you came from you and not these other sources. So anyway, agreed.
Next, Chisa.
Okay, I know I'm like passing the ball to you on these characters, Gina, but I know that you have thoughts about Chisa, so please tell me.
My thoughts are, even the ending of that anime couldn't ruin this girl. Best girl, 10 out of 10. I don't care. I care terribly what they did to her, but man, I love Chisa. I love her so much. I can't believe there's not a raging, roaring Chisa fandom. Where is my Chisa fan art? Where is my Chisa love? Where is my girl? I love this
teacher. Girl. She's so silly. I know there's some people in chat who are like,
she has health insurance because she works at Hope's Peak. She is prepared.
There's some people in chat who are like, whomst the fuck?
Exactly. I know that's most of the, honestly, I know, exactly.
Our fandom is right here. That's us.
The fandom is on the call. The fandom is in the room with us.
The two people you see on camera is the Chisa fandom.
Sorry, I'm just having fun. Allison, how do you feel about Chisa?
I think you know what's funny is I think that Chisa, even though she only appeared, Chisa is in, for context for people who don't know, again, spoilers, apologies, but she's the homeroom teacher from the anime for the remnants,
77th class.
The 77th class, and is just like this absolutely like, truly devoted, cares for her students kind of teacher, like is just there for for them.
She's a character type that is utterly cliche and should have been boring, but through performance, through great animated acting, and through just utter delight, I think, sold it. Because again, she's just a very dedicated homeroom teacher who loves her students. Like that's it. That's it. Like her whole bit is she loves her students. Well, yeah.
I mean, she's one that I would say, I was gonna say she's both simultaneously S tier and fucked by the adaptation, even though she's only in one thing, and she somehow still manages to be screwed by the adaptation though. I agree. Yeah. Which really, and that's probably where I would put her ultimately, is because I find the concept of her and her actual like portrayal as a character throughout the majority of the show to be really great, and I love her. I think, but then
the ending of her character arc is just a mess.
It's just mirror. Yeah, it's just like a nosedive plane.
It's really bad.
It sucks.
I can only put her up here if I completely ignore like 7 episodes of the anime.
Her whole twist. Right. I mean, it sucks because like I think there was something interesting there in like having, you know, what is the let's talk about the teacher of the Remnants of Despair. Yeah. Like, where does that person come into play? And like, it could have been so interesting, but instead they just turned her into they did a torture porn episode, and then they're like, she's evil now.
Yeah, and they really did do a torture porn episode. So yeah, no, you're right. She this is where she lives, as is right and appropriate. It just bums me out because
it sucks.
I want one of these, but of Chisa.
They have
my
to
girl.
Exist.
She's my girl.
They have to exist. I feel like that. I don't know. I kind of want to send people on a journey to see if they can find Chisa figurines. Maybe that's gonna be my side quest during this. I'm gonna search for Chisa figurines.
That honestly, thank you. That would be beautiful.
Okay.
The next character I'm just gonna preemptively put in. I have never met this person, even though I have. This is the farmer. This is the super high school level farmer who died in episode 1. Had a very strange voice tick. That I never understood what the choice was there, but then he died before it mattered, so I don't know who this man is.
Never met this man before in my life. He just appears on screen and then is dead.
Yep.
And it's just like, I'm a plot device, and that's it. We can probably move on.
We're done with the farmer. Yay! It's Fuyuhiko.
Oh, Fuyuhiko. He's the Byakuya of Danganronpa 2 with the character growth, I feel like. Good character. I think that's it. Like,
I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
He's a fiery little guy.
He's a fiery little guy. He had to suffer, and his family died, and Peko died, but ultimately he ended up being a good person despite all that, and that's great.
And like at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, dude, he's a funky little boss baby, and like, I just love that.
Just a fiery little guy. Okay, genocider.
Oh, S tier.
Worth noting that she's abysmal BPD representation, but I'll put her in S tier anyway.
You're absolutely right. She's terrible.
Just absolutely horrible.
I mean, arguably garbage fire representation, so like that could put her character down there. But
she's a good character. You know.
But is this genocider that we're looking at? Not Toko, correct?
This is genocider. Yeah? Toko, I think, is elsewhere. Yeah, Toko's elsewhere.
Can we pull Toko up here too, so we can do them sort of do a side-by-side tasting of like, of you know, a little comparison?
Here's Toko.
Okay. Toko and genocider. I think that Toko, I think she borders on being saved by adaptation a little bit too, in some ways.
I could not agree with you more. I just straight up did not enjoy her in Danganronpa 1 at all. There wasn't a moment in Danganronpa 1 where I'm like, I'm glad that Toko is here. But you know, I did like her in Despair Girls. I really did. I liked her in Despair Girls.
I liked her in Despair Girls. I feel like that that's one of the two good things to come out of Despair Girls was the scene with Chihiro's dad, and then giving Toko a character arc.
Yes.
And like that's thank God she got something.
She was a really, really good call for Despair Girls, and I just genuinely enjoyed her in it.
Yeah, so I think that Toko is just like saved by adaptation. I mean, genocide doesn't need to be that high. She is actually a serial killer. We have to remember within.
We never see it happen.
But she claims
she never kills somebody on our watch, but that's fair.
That's true. That is very true. I think my
other favorite thing is thinking about, well, we'll get to it, but I love thinking about the scout being like, all right, okay, board of trustees for Hope's Peak Academy, I found somebody who is a pretty good author, probably could be qualified as a super high school level author, but better than that, they're the best serial killer to ever do it. We have to enroll this person.
We gotta.
Like,
what the fuck, dude?
It just cracks me up.
We do need to acknowledge that, and acknowledge that she's poor. Yeah, like you said, representation of it. So I think put her in there.
Reserve Corps?
Would Reserve Corps? Yeah.
Okay,
Reserve
next
Corps
up
for genocide.
is Gonta.
Oh, Gonta. He's high on the list for me, I think. I think he's like probably just a good character. What do you think?
I think he's a good character used well. I think they know how much of a gut punch that trial is, and it only works because he's likable. He's set up really well for it, and I think he's just he's another one of those really well executed mid-game characters where they knew exactly what they wanted to use him for, did it, and made him likable all along the way.
100%. Yeah, I think just really strong character through and through, start to finish with his character arc. And like what a good twist for him too, and like what a just absolutely fucking brutal case, and absolutely brutal blackened situation. Like, man, it's so good.
It's rough, but it's good. And that's why it's good. Is because they knew exactly how impactful it would be. So I agree. Gonta should be just a good character.
I think he's just a good character. Honestly, I kind of agree with Twice Lover too. Here, I feel like his performance in the localization, I think like if they hadn't gone that route, I think that probably would have bumped him up a little bit more. Because I know he does have a specific way of speaking in the Japanese version, but they went hard with the Tarzan, they thing, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I still love him as a character. Like, so I would put him at he's a good character.
I agree.
So, yeah.
Okay. This is Celeste Cat. I've never met this person.
Never met him before. I don't think we saved them, so
we might have, but even if we didn't, it doesn't. They're a cat.
That's nothing.
This is the Great Gozu.
Oh, the Great Gozu. Also one that I kind of don't know because he didn't stay around very long.
That is true. They made you like him enough to where you knew he was gonna die the episode he was introduced, so that's good.
This is the ultimate wrestler from Danganronpa 3. So I think he's one of those that's kind of set up to be like, oh, you're gonna last a while, like you're gonna be an interesting like.
Oh, see, I thought the opposite. The moment he was like, I believe in Makoto Naegi, I'm like, he's gonna die this episode. I was right. I was absolutely right.
Also, if people are wondering about his appearance, he has like a mask. It's like a mask or a helmet that's like shaped like a bowl. I think his design's cool. And I don't know. I would say maybe he sure is a character. That's probably where I would
I'm fine with he sure is a character.
Okay, cool.
Well, no, because we're gonna have to add a category later. It's fine. It's all fine. Gundam.
S tier. No fucking questions asked. He's
No
S
notes.
tier. Put
No
him
notes.
up there. No notes. King. Absolutely love him so much. I was trying to talk about Gundam to some coworkers again today, and it was like, they were like, is this the guy that has hamsters?
Like, yeah. Yes, he is. Well remembered coworkers.
He does have hamsters. I love him so much. Oh my god. Like an excellent like later game character, you know, perfect chapter 4 character. Oh, Gundam. And like a great free time.
Yeah.
Great free time event.
It was a really good free time event with him too.
I love it. You just hold his hand at the end.
You
like,
sure
do.
do.
You hold hands. It's so good. I love
He's a good
him.
one. He's a really good one. I also really earnestly like his little relationship with Sonya, and like I just like him. I just like him as a dude. He
It's
feels like a
very
person
cute.
because he has like relationships outside of the main character, which I always enjoy. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I just really, really enjoy him so much. So hell yeah, Gundam. Oh god. I realize we got to keep it moving because we got a big list. Oh yeah, okay. Hajime.
Yeah.
He's got to be like, it's funny because he probably should be reserve course.
He should be reserve course. I agree.
But he is super high school level.
I might leave him in reserve course
just for the bit, but move him in front of Genocider. Like he has to. He's like actually is.
Where you go, buddy? Where you belong. I love Hinata. I think he's such a good protagonist. I love him. I love Hinata. I love that guy.
Chat's like, get him out of there right now. Put him back up at the top. Get him back up there. He's spiritually in super high school level, but he's actually
literally, unfortunately, in the reserve course. And don't take him out of the reserve course because bad things happen when he leaves the reserve course. Leave him there.
He's
but
such
also
a good
abolish
character.
the reserve course.
Yeah, right. I do kind of feel like, I mean, we can just like, he could be like that one electron that just moves simultaneously between. Yeah, he can actually. Can you put him in super high school level?
Yeah,
it's where he belongs.
Of course I can.
It's where he. Okay.
Yeah.
He's. Tell me. Okay, I know you've talked about Hajime a little bit before, but tell me about like your thoughts on his character because you've kind of dug into it a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot, like in the playthrough.
Yeah,
but
I just think he's really interesting, and part of this requires me. You know what? Let's just do it. Where is he? Surely he's down here.
He's where's that long hair boy?
Where is he?
Where is he?
Not
Oh,
here?
at the top. At the top.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, get him.
Yeah.
Let's just get him up here. So I really, really like this plot point, and I will say, Danganronpa 3 is testing my patience, because there's part of me that would drop both of these down into Cursed by the Adaptation, but I think it is such a clever move to really understand what Danganronpa meant in the first game and deconstruct it using Hajime and Kamakura. I think having somebody be the ultimate hope but manufactured by committee, I think the idea of at that time when they were still exploring hope and despair, having somebody be a true neutral who has to basically burn the world down in order to decide what makes the most sense. But I also think having a child who is ravaged by a system that hated him, didn't value him, and was run by corporate greed and capitalism and cruelty and all of those things is such an interesting plot point to add to a game in a universe like Danganronpa. Danganronpa 2 feels to me like it's wild that it's the second game in the series. It feels like where you get after like 5 games when you've really plumbed the depths and realized what your franchise is, and they somehow jumped straight to that one. So yeah, I think Hinata is wonderful. I think the idea that we're playing this like residual memory of of a lost child in Danganronpa 2 is lovely and sad and terrible, and I like how he still manages to be kind of like a sassy asshole through all of it too, because he's on top of being an image, he's a person. Love that. And I love Kamakura. I think he's a really cool cryptid of a character. I like the idea of this being, this godlike being that transcends the rules of the world and yet abides by them because can't conceptualize of a world outside of them is so cool. So I really like them. I love the mystery note that Danganronpa 2 ends on, where you don't know. It's sort of, it's Schrodinger's cat, but the box isn't opened. You genuinely don't know whether the cat is alive or dead when the game ends, and I think that's so cool. And I think, boy, everything they do to define, once they open that box, things get really messy.
It's
so
like,
I'm gonna actually drop my boy down to Cursed by the Adaptation, but I'll leave Hinata up here because I think he's just a good character.
I think that is such a great summary of Hinata and Kamakura, because I loved the concept of, you know, both the this like god-like boogeyman character that has been like, you know, suggested and dredged up very slowly over time throughout the course of Danganronpa 2, only for that to be revealed to be your player character, and that your player character is this ultimate villain and this ultimate, like, and is also like essentially the mastermind. Like Kamakura is the mastermind of Danganronpa 2, and to learn that you are the mastermind, but you don't remember because you're not that person in this setting where you are right now is just so good and powerful. And like you said too, the idea of a character that has been completely created by committee and stripped of all their identity and everything that makes them them, and just turned into like a robot is just, it's so good.
I'll also say, like, and it's the only time I'm gonna really jump into this, but, like, sincerely, it is in an anime where I could really knock a lot of stuff. Their treatment of Kamakura in the anime is the most uninspired, tragic. It's just a shame because there's so much opportunity to, like, you could get really arty and clever about portraying the world the way Kamakura sees it. I think there could have been something that not only delivers on that cryptid boogeyman energy, but enhances it, even by taking his perspective, to see the world that is so simplified and so predictable from the viewpoint of a character who has it all. Could have been very cool. The most frustrating missed opportunity, I think I said it in the anime, but Kamakura did nothing wrong, derogatory. I hate it so much.
He should have done wrongs. Like, they should have let him do wrong things. Like, because
let him do bad things.
let him be the thing. I mean, they're also the anime. Basically, the point the anime was trying to make was, we ruined this kid for nothing, and then we scapegoated him for events that happened. So, like, I understand that, and, like, sure, like, that's, I get it, but at the same time, we know, at least according to Danganronpa 2 lore, that, like, he's done shit. Like, and that he's the ultimate. Like, he can do everything, and he's just so uninspired by the world. And I just,
it's just frustrating. So I am gonna have to leave him down and Cursed by the Adaptation, but Hinata's great. He's arguably one of the best things that Danganronpa did. I think he's just a very, very good character.
Totally. I think he also, we could take a slice off of him and put him in Cursed by the Adaptation as well for Danganronpa 3. But I don't even want to, like, we don't have to go there. So he can just stay up there.
He can exist there and in Reserve Corps and in Cursed by the Adaptation, and that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Hinata contains multitudes.
Yes, exactly.
It's Hifumi.
Hifumi. That sure is a character.
It sure is a character. I liked your voice for him.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. He was very fun to voice. He's fine. Like, I think he's okay. I think he's just, I like how chat's reaction is, he exists. He's both fun and meh at the same time. And I think he's interesting in that he was, like, sort of a plot device character, but he was also, like, genuinely manipulated and like, thinking that he was acting on his own free will, but when he in reality, like, really, really wasn't. So I think that,
Sure is a character?
Sure is a character.
Okay.
So you could probably stay there.
It's the ultimate mage.
The mage. Oh my god, I love her so much. I love her so much. I really liked voicing her, and she's just
really
so
good.
She's so good.
Also a character that goes on a little. I feel like she is the better realized version of Akane.
Yes.
Of Danganronpa V3. So I think she's probably like just a good character.
Just a good character. She has an honest to God character arc. She's meaningful right up to the end. I think her perspective is really meaningful right up to the end. Yeah, I really love this little mage.
Me too. She's super cute, and she also just has a lot of character outside of her like character arc. Do you know what I mean? Like you have like these little moments when you're talking to her and she makes like little like references and she makes like little jokes or like comments on stuff. Like you find out that she likes like soap operas and you're like, of course you do. Like she's so much fun. Also, thank you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed my voice for her.
It's magical. It's really good.
Really liked voicing her. She does magic.
I love her.
I think
cool.
I know where this next character is gonna go. But for a different reason than the others. Aoi.
The original final girl.
The original final girl. Sorry, Kyoko.
Yeah. I know, sorry. In my mind, do you know what I mean?
No,
though?
like, she's the Akane and the Himiko of her
Those
game.
are the final girls.
Yes.
Even though they're not technically
they're not
like
the literal final girl. Yes, I understand completely.
Yeah.
But yes, I actually appreciate that categorization because it does work.
Yeah. I think she's probably like A or S tier. I know you love Aoi. Like this is one of your.
I do. I was actually going to drop her in Saved by the Adaptation. Not that she was bad in the game. She was wonderful in the game. I've always loved Aoi, but she is such SSS tier in the anime. Like the anime is almost worth watching just for every single second of Aoi content in it. She's so good. The running bit of Makoto having to ride around on her back is so genuinely funny. It cracks me up every time. I loved it. I loved her. I love her to death. I'll put her in A tier, but I also think she can kind of live in the Saved by the Adaptation because she's the only good thing.
I think she absolutely was. I mean, A tier from the game, S tier / Saved by the Adaptation from the anime. Like, honestly, like that show gave her a ton of excellent characterization, and it's so frustrating because the anime has like little moments of like diamonds, like these little glimmers of like absolute gems amongst like what. Holy shit.
I'd also argue just like the first 8 episodes are solid, and a lot of those gems are in the first 8 episodes where it's just like there's just funny bits with Aoi and great bits with the 77th. But yeah,
absolutely.
I fell back in love with her in Danganronpa 3.
And her character arc is so good. Her role within Sakura's case is really good too. Like her relationship with Sakura is so good. Like I love her. She's great. You can't have Sakura without Aoi. You can't have Aoi without Sakura, except until suddenly you have to, and that sucks. But then she's just like so ride or die with Makoto, and like
only after trying to tank the whole group. Which is also like what I also like about Aoi is she goes fucking vicious when she decides to. Like I think there's a lot.
She's just
to
a ride
her.
or die.
Yeah, there's a lot to her. So
I love her.
Yeah.
Spiritually S tier, but saved by the narrative. I mean,
I can just put her in A if you want. I just needed to express that I just loved her.
A tier, yeah. Again, can flicker back and forth between those two categories. Yeah. So, who's next?
Next is Yasuhiro's mom.
I mean, I like voicing her. I think she's like a cool mom. She's like a cool mom, you know? Like, that's it. She sure is a character.
Followed by Yasuhiro.
Sure is a character, but positive. Yeah,
you know? Reserved core.
Reserved core.
Oh, Hero. Yeah. Oh, Hero.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
He's reserve course. Yep. I think he's definitely. There were times where I'm like, okay, I'm done with your bit, but also there are times where I'm like, thank God for your bit. Yeah. You know, like.
No, I agree. It's like.
Yeah,
I'm glad that Yasuhiro is where it is, which puts him up above Sure as a character.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just now noticed, by the way, that Zare's light went off. I realized the light in my room changed.
Good night, sweet lizard.
Good night. She sleep. Okay, who else?
Sayonji.
I don't like her. I think this is the first one where I'm gonna be like, put her down somewhere lower. Which category is this again?
Garbage Fire and Hell, which seems pretty strong, but we'd only have one like really like.
There might need to be a tier. There might need to be a tier above Garbage Fire and Hell that's just bleh, like bleh. I don't know.
I mean, I could kick out the reserve course students and put one down here if we want to put reserve course and Sure as a character.
Oh, I guess I guess reserve course could just go into Sure as a character but they're like high up on Sure as a character. You know what I mean? This is definitely tricky because I don't think I want to put her in. She's like teetering on the edge of Garbage Fire, and like I just don't like her. I don't think she's enjoyable as a character, and she's mean.
Yeah,
I just don't.
I agree. Her. And her bit never like comes around for me. Like
no,
yeah,
she's like around too long. Okay, can you walk me through what our categories are now again?
Super high school level, just a good character. Sure as a character. I think this should now it needs to go back to too mid to function.
Sure.
I've never met this person, saved or cursed by the adaptation. Bleh, Garbage Fire and Hell, Sinkhole.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, I'm down with this. Cool.
I'm putting Bleh below Cursed and Saved by the adaptation, and I've never met this person because I do think these are not neutral, but they're like positives or negatives depending on the situation, whereas this is just bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's totally fair because now we've got basically 3 positive, 3 negative, and like 2 sort of in that neutral range. So amazing. Cool.
Okay.
I don't know. I just like, she, maybe we could have gotten to know her better through her like free time events, but I don't know. I think she got more interesting after she was gone. Which is mean to say.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
I can't even argue with that.
Yeah.
The next character is Ibuki.
Ibuki, sure is a character, but also positive, you know? I don't know.
I can get rid of Garbage Fire and Hell and add back in Sure as a character or Reserve Course.
Reserve Course?
Yeah. Do we think there's I'm trying to think who would end up in the Garbage Fire and Hell that wouldn't end up in Sinkhole.
You know what? That's a good point. Maybe we just get rid of Garbage Fire and Hell and we just keep Sinkhole.
Okay.
Because I mean, at that point, it's like you're right, Victor. We only need one jail tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the jail tier for us is one that actively destroys the narrative too. So,
yes, exactly.
Okay. Did you put Yasuhiro, Ibuki, and Genocider in reserve course?
Yes.
Amazing. That's appropriate. That's 100% appropriate. I'm like mid to positive on Ibuki. I saw super randomly, I was in like a game store. I think I sent you a picture of this. I was in a game store in my family's hometown.
Mm-hmm.
Like that great game store. It's been there forever. And I was like randomly like looking in the cases of like displays and standees and stuff. And they had like a light up like clear glass standee for Ibuki. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
People like her in her design.
Ibuki stand. I mean, she's great. Like I think she's funny and she can be fun to like play. I like Ibuki more than I like Mew.
Yeah.
I feel like at least that trope for me, I know they're not the same. They're not, but they like fill a similar slot in my mind. And I feel like Ibuki was more successful in that for me than Mew, but that is just
I'll
me.
also always
That's
bring up
my
with
personal-
Mew that she's a lot worse if you have to voice her, and you know, if you have to say the things that she's saying, it's significantly worse. Not that she's not already bad. I'm just also saying that, like, oof.
I think Mew can. I know we'll talk about Mew in a sec, but yeah.
Right now we have the imposter.
Imposter. I think it's funny to put him in. I don't know. I've never met this person.
Is very funny. That is very funny. That is very funny.
I think that's kind of a fun spot.
My attitude that's just funny on a meta level. My attitude towards the imposter is that I really, really, really enjoy him in Danganronpa 2. But once again, Danganronpa 3 throws some serious shade on him. I did not like or understand the bit where he's very physically and sexually aggressive towards Mikan. Just didn't like it. Just don't know what they were going for.
It was very odd because it didn't really have like a.
It never had a payoff. It never had like a payoff. Yeah, it felt like a bit they were setting up that they never did anything with, which is really weird.
But I think like as far as like his Danganronpa 2 characterization, and then like, you know, I would say maybe some other aspects about his characterization in the early half of the anime, I think make him pretty strong. Yeah. You know, I do like him.
I can excise that point because I just don't know what the writers were doing with it. And without that point, I like him. Do you want me to leave him in I've never met this person, or
Yeah, but put him up at the top of the, like, in front of everybody else. I would say.
The most I've never met this person.
Yeah, and then maybe Chihiro goes like right after him. I feel like because they're the ones that like
in a good way.
I don't know. Yeah, in a good way or like good to complicated way. Yeah. So I think the meta. Yeah, I think he belongs there. So, who do you want to grab next? We're starting to get into some. I mean,
no, we're not. We're about to bounce. We're not getting into the ones we don't know. Trust me. This is just. I'm just gonna leave them there.
I don't know. I don't know whom the fuck this is either. Does anyone in chat know? Like, is this someone from a novel? Because we did not read any of the novels or like the Ultimate Bodyguard.
Yeah, I think this is a novel character, so we'll just leave them there.
Yeah, I genuinely have never met this person before. So, like, we didn't interact with the novels. So, yeah. Okay.
Next up is this kid.
Bleh.
Yeah. That's an easy bleh for me.
That's a bleh. And I don't even think I need to go any further.
Yeah. Not for a moment was he funny or charming or even all that sad, just because the way his plotline was delivered didn't hit that way. So yeah.
No. Bleh. Bleh. Yeah.
Next up, we got Jin Kirigiri.
Also never. Well, we have met him before. I
like him less every time I meet him. I'll say that about Jin Kirigiri.
Sure, he sure is a character.
Yeah,
you know, like he is a like they did a character.
Yeah,
with him.
He's a person. But they did every character. Yeah, they did a character with him. He's a person, and every time I learn more about this person, I like him less. Yeah. An interesting one. I actually am intrigued by Jin. Jin is like one of those characters who I kind of enjoy how his ness is delivered. Because like there is something there. But yeah, he's a character.
Yeah, yeah.
I might even up him to Reserve Corps.
You know what? That's fair because I think he serves some. I think he's beyond. Well, I mean,
or I might put him like there.
Sure. Yeah. Upper level, mid. Yeah. Okay. That's cool with me.
I don't know. He signed off on the Kamakura project. He did a lot of really not good things. Like, don't cut this man some slack because of his daughter. He's not a good guy.
No, he's really not. And then
No.
like he's the one that locks them all into Hope's Beacon. I mean, they all kind of agreed to it, but he's the one that signed off on it. Like,
Yeah.
he's the problem.
He is a problem. He's not the problem. That's like arguably the board, but like he's not good.
He's part of the problematic system, and but I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm like, he sure is a character, you know, because they were like, this is a character. So
next up, it's
Continuing.
the one, it's the only, it's the ultimate despair herself, Junko Enoshima.
my queen, I bow down. I mean, just put her at the top and move on, you know,
There she
like.
goes.
That
Good for her.
I feel like I could talk about Junko Enoshima for like I probably will for the rest of my life, honestly. Like
I will say briefly, she's another one of those that could be down here, but yes, big old fan of Junko Enoshima.
huge fan. Yeah, definitely cursed by the adaptation in the anime, which damn, but we don't need to talk about that. So like she's at the top. She's the head honcho. She's everything. Like she's my queen. What a cool fucking, again, if I'm taking a step back to like think about Junko Enoshima, like what a cool fucking character. And like I love the way we have like set up dichotomies for and against like Junko throughout the series. I just like to use I know I've talked a lot about her as like a concept. Like I feel like she's very much a conceptual entity. And I think that is sort of what she is going for whenever she
I think she'd be thrilled to be perceived as a concept.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, a concept of despair. So I just I think she's so good. I think her performance is amazing by her VA in game. And yeah, fucking love her. Yeah. So good.
Definitely
Queen.
a fan.
Yeah.
Next
just
up.
a good ass villain. Like what I love taking a villain and making it like just the true like lifeblood ultimate like construct of your series. Like I feel like, you know, we love our main characters like so much. Like we love Hajime and we love Makoto and Shuichi, but it's like Junko is like it's so cool. I love taking the villain and being like here.
Well,
like,
and it's also worth noting, Monokuma is Junko Enoshima. Obviously, by the final game, he's not, but like everything that I like about Monokuma, I also ascribe to Junko, because every funny thing he's ever said is because that's just Junko play. Exactly. So I will say this is the same character.
One and the same. Yeah, absolutely. Or just like a facet and persona, arguably persona of Junko.
Yeah, he is her persona, isn't he? Yeah.
But one and the same essentially. So S tier, 100%.
Next up we have
not her first. I know it's not actually her persona. I was making a joke.
I think it is. I'm gonna argue that it is. I don't care if he was made by Toa. It's her persona.
Whatever. That's okay. Who's next?
Juzo. Next up is in fact Juzo. How would you like to deal with this, Allison?
I laughed so hard.
What does one do in this situation?
I know that half of chat is gonna be like,
no, half of chat is like, why? Yeah, Juzo's an anime, a Danganronpa 3 original character.
I don't know.
And one of two queer characters, canonically queer characters in the entirety of Danganronpa. So good for Juzo. Representation. Yeah. Exactly what we're looking for.
Fucking love Lost in this one, let me tell you. Like,
loved it.
Man, okay. I don't know.
Oh my god.
This dude fucking trips me up so much because he's like, okay, so again, context for the anime, he is the ultimate like fighter.
He's a boxer. Yep.
Yeah, he's the ultimate boxer, and then he basically becomes like head of security at Hope Speak Academy, which means that he can just bully people and take out his frustrations on Hajime specifically.
Yeah, he's a physically abusive asshole.
He is. He's like he's like the ultimate UFC champ, and he's just like an actual abusive like piece of shit.
Yeah.
He is one of the three of, I would say, like one of the earlier classes, like trios. Like, you know how in Danganronpa we always have like a trio. We have like
Makoto, Byakuya, and Kyoko. You have Hinata, Chiaki, and Komeda, and yeah, they had the trio of Chisa, Juzo, and a character who has not arrived yet on our tier list, but I know where he's going.
Yes. Yeah, he's a fucking cop. Yeah, he's awful. He's like an objectively like just a mean ass like awful person who is like dealing with his like internalized like homophobia and
in the
like,
worst, least productive way possible.
Actually the worst, like truly like his whole
The show does this thing, and I'm gonna try to see if I can avoid literally spoiling. No, it doesn't matter. This is the spoiler stream. So
yeah, you can spoil
the show does this very funny thing that we're gonna talk about later with another character, where it restricts the autonomy and choices from every single character in the entire anime. It does this thing where it's like, they never did anything bad on their own. They never would have done a bad thing. You love these characters. They'd never do bad things, except for Juzo, who absolutely would. And so every single character in the show is like, absolved of their sins, except for Juzo, who burns the world to the ground because he won't admit on that he has a crush on a guy, and literally dooms the planet because of that. And it's like, fucking Juzo.
He won't admit that he's like in love with this guy, so that gets used as blackmail against him, and it's so like internalized, and like he just like he cannot like let it be known that it's manipulated against him by Junko, and he lets that's the world.
That's the only
is complicit
blackmail.
In letting the
that's
world
the only blackmail
burn.
That's against him. It's that they don't have like a loved one they're gonna kill. They don't have like I'll blow up the bomb in your body if you do. That's literally just like, we'll tell the guy you like that you like him. She's like, well then. Like,
Jesus Christ,
just the worst.
It's so bad. And then the way that they resolve his character too is just to bury your gaze, like
it's a little bit better than I thought it was gonna be. It's a little bit better than I thought it was gonna be. But
they like we were immediately like, well, oh fuck. And then they're like, oh, okay, they did something with it. They gave him like just the tiniest little suggestion of maybe redemption at the end, and like just like the teeny tiniest bit, but enough that at the end I was just like, okay, you give me something at least. So it's just really it sucks. I don't know.
I don't think he's a sinkhole. I'd put him in black. I think he's hilarious and awful, but I also don't think he's like cataclysmic. I mean, he might be. If Danganronpa 3 were better, he might be cataclysmic, but as it is, I think he's just bad. He's just not a very good character.
He's just he's another character where like I think could have been better, and the writers didn't really know how to handle him again. Mm-hmm. But then they also like he's kind of a villain too, like throughout, and like he's basically the linchpin in what causes Hajime to make the decisions that he makes. So I think he's borderline sinkhole for me. But I like also, I don't know. I can't get him out of my brain at the same time. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I agree.
I also can't stop thinking about him. Yeah. And I'm also like, God damn, like, and I'm so I just want to like grab Danganronpa and shake it by the shoulders again for like taking like a canonically queer character and just fumbling it all the way down the hill. Like, oh God, it's so
rough.
frustrating. It's so rough. Frustrating. So anyway, I he can stay right there. That's fine. I laughed so hard because I had such a
I love it.
Such a
I love
journey.
it and I respect it.
Yeah. Fuck. He's very memorable. Actually, you know what? That's the thing. He is very, very, I know we're like moving on, but like he is a genuinely like memorable character.
Yeah.
So Kaede. Also very memorable character. This one's for me because I got to play Kaede
and got her ripped out of your hands after a little bit.
They took her away from me.
Yeah.
They took her away from me. But I mean,
erroneously too, as it turns out.
What? What does that mean?
It was a lie. She didn't kill anyone.
Oh well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They never should have taken her.
I was like, wait, what? You mean the devs didn't intend for her to go away? I was like, I thought it was like another level. Okay. No, I think she's incredible. I would put her up in S tier because not only is she like a very well realized character, I love how they take the concept. Again, this is a playing with the player character, and I love the idea of taking the player character and turning them into a blackened, or so you think, and ripping that character away from you, and then forcing another main character into your hands. But it's also a character that was so like, you know, viscerally affected by the character you were playing as.
Absolutely,
and like has this really, really deep connection with them. And like she is like the backbone and the lifeblood of the entire rest of the narrative. Everybody is constantly basing their their actions and their thoughts and their intentions behind what Kaede would or would not have wanted. And like, she is really the reason why Danganronpa, the franchise within the meta narrative, came crumbling down.
Yeah, she collapsed it in the end in a lot of ways.
She's the one that actually brought it down. Now, I mean, she did try to do a murder.
She did. That's true.
She did actually try to do a murder.
She not only tried, but she really thought she'd done one. So.
Yep. And everyone was convinced that she had done it. And I love, again, the concept of a player character that's doing stuff behind the player's back. Like,
always fun.
The fact that it's so cool. I love it when player characters have agency and are doing their own shit. I know we talk about the way Zero Escape does this a lot too, but I think that Danganronpa V3 definitely did that with both of their two like main characters. She's great. I love her so much. Put her in S tier. Like, great. So good.
Well, next up, we have the other ultimate villain, Kaito Momota, Luminary of the Stars.
This guy, whom I it's like, he's the definition of, it's not that deep, but then also they're like, haha, it actually, he was a bad guy. Like, so, but he, my guy that I couldn't shake him. Like, I mean, that's my one theory crafting character where I maybe was incorrect about.
On an incredible technicality, you're correct, but I
like on two technicalities,
yes.
I would say I was correct on calling Kaito. But I just, yeah, I think again, he goes on an incredible character, like, narrative development journey as well. Like, both with Shuichi and with Maki and with Kokichi, the relationship back and forth between Kokichi and then the fifth trial is just like mind-blowingly cool.
It's really, really good.
It's so good. So I just think, I think he's a really good character, and I think that's where he belongs. And the way they concluded his character, like, it made a lot of sense. Like, he also had a very cohesive start to finish, like, character arc. Yeah, good. I could not shake something about him, even though it wasn't that deep. but then even though it was maybe later, but who knows? Like, it wasn't that deep.
I think it was great. It was great fun. I'm glad we got to engage with him directly the whole game. And then, yeah, I think the 5th trial is excellent. It was really good.
I'm glad that he sticks around as long as he does.
Me too.
You know? So, yeah.
Next one, I don't know this person.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
From a novel? Who knows?
Probably.
You can hang out there.
Next is Soda.
Yeah, okay. He sure is a character.
I actually might drop Soda to Bleh. Soda is one of those characters who there was so much potential. I guess he doesn't fit with these 3. Fine.
No, he doesn't. He sure is a character. Oh, apparently, according to chat, that's Leon's girlfriend. With the hair.
Okay.
One of the collaterals.
I actually knew that.
Despair Girls.
Yeah, I actually.
You're right. Cousin?
Yeah.
No, she's the coach, right? She's the trainer, like his trainer. Right?
Maybe.
Cousin.
Yeah, we got that file. We got that file.
Manager.
Yeah, we got that
manager.
file. This one looks different than all the other Despair Girls portraits.
Yeah, they have like a washed out look to him, and she's not quite that. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. We never met her. She can still hang out there. Kazuichi.
Kazuichi's another one of those, in my opinion, fandom characters where there's enough seeds for a really good character there that I think you can run with them and make a really, like, I think there's probably a ton of great fanfic with Soda. That being said, what is in the game is so aggressively mid at best and annoying at worst. The bit never gets funny. He started interesting.
I agree.
For chapter 1, he's genuinely interesting, and then the Sonya thing kicks off, and he's just a bummer for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I just I never connected with him in any way, and I didn't find the way they treated his character interesting, and it was, that's at best. At worst, it's annoying and just not fun to listen to all the time. I mean, occasionally
annoying because a bro character who's this crazy cool inventor / engineer who there's so many pieces there that you can riff off of to make such a fun character. It's just not what I experienced in the video game I played. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I just think he could have been, I don't know. He's sure as a character, but also weirdly doomed by the adaptation. But it's literally just the one.
It's the thing he's in. Yeah, he's doomed by the adaptation in the exact same way Chisa is doomed by the adaptation.
He could be upper level Bleh if we want.
Yeah. I don't know where to put him.
Is that too rude for him?
No,
I don't know.
I genuinely don't like him, but I don't like him in a way where it's I'm more disappointed than I genuinely don't like these 3. Whereas Soda, I'm just I don't like him, but it's mostly out of disappointment.
That's fair. I'd say we stick to our guns and keep him there.
Okay.
So
next up, we got Tengen.
Fucking Bleh.
I'm gonna drop this guy to Bleh. Episodes 1 through 8, liked him. Rest of it, oh my god, hate this guy.
Yeah. Okay. Also, for context for folks, he's from the anime. He is the head of the board for Hope's Peak and for the new Hope's Peak and everything. So he's just a problem.
Yeah, he's just a problem.
It sucks because they set him up to kind of be pretty interesting, and then he just really crashes and burns at the end, with his character. They start suggesting that he's going to be interesting. He's kind of supposed to be a mid-tier villain a little bit.
He's supposed to be the villain.
Yeah.
He's not even a mid-tier villain. He's the villain. And the fact that I can't even, I struggle to call him that is the problem.
Yeah, that's true. Because they lost the plot so hard by the end, and what his motivation was for being the villain and doing the future arc killing game. It sucks.
He sucks. He really
could have been, I think whenever you and I were watching it, you compared him to potentially being like what's his face from Squid Game, the
old guy from Squid Game. Yeah,
the old guy.
There's a version of him that could have been that, but he
could have been that, and that would have been cool. That would have been cool as hell.
But the thing is, he was Allison.
I guess you're right. They did a bad job.
Yeah, it's just dreadful execution. He's just not a very good character.
No, he's really bleh.
Yeah.
All right, leave him down there.
It's Kibo.
Yeah, Kibo, our
the hope robot.
Our robot of hope. Oh.
I'm gonna say I've never seen a more reserve course character than within
He's
Kibo.
so reserve course.
This is a reserve course character right here.
Yes, like top level reserve course. Yes, that is so true. I think Kibo is funny and interesting because all of his twists are like backloaded, like at the end of the narrative, you know. So he's kind of there to be like the final twists to the story, which like that's fine, but it does kind of mean that for a little while for maybe half of the game I'm like, I don't know you, but then like you kind of start to know him, but then what we're seeing is the Kibo like persona rather than like what he actually is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's just tricky. Like I like how he's narratively used. I think he can be funny. I liked voicing him.
Good.
Yeah, I liked voicing him, but no, he's an interesting character. I'm glad he's in the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I like what his hairdryer mouth doesn't rocket him to S tier. Or his camera eyeballs.
I will say it's less so than Angie, where I had to do this, but I will say with Kibo, I always kind of put my hands on my hips, and I also kept knocking Allison with my elbows. So sorry about that.
It's okay. You had to get really physical for like those
most
characters.
Of these characters. With Angie, I had to like kind of like all of her lines were delivered.
Tenko,
sorry, not Angie. Yeah, Angie, Tenko, Kibo. God.
It was so good. Yeah, you really had to pose for all of them. Like by the end of it, you were doing like
I just feel like
JoJo poses.
Yeah, when you're jumping around that much, it helps to have like you embody this character right now. Go.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway.
100%. It was so good. So yeah, I'm grateful for Kibo the character. Something just disconnected on my computer. I hope you can still hear me. Okay, good. I knocked a chord and I heard a ba-da-doom, like disconnect.
No.
I'm like,
no, you're good.
Who was that? Who just left me?
The next character is going into I've never met this person, even though I know who they are. This is Sakura's ex, dead ex.
Yes, you told me about this charter because this is from the collateral in Ultra Despair Girls, right?
Like
one of the
strongest
characters.
man she ever met.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was like also her boyfriend, but then died.
Yeah.
So when you say ex, it's like
via death.
Yeah. Post alive.
Yeah. This is a post alive man right here.
The crossover. Ex alive. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah, we just don't know him. So, who's this?
Kirimi?
Kirimi. I know. I knew her name. I just started thinking about where to put her. Kirimi. Kirimi.
I would leave her exactly where she's at. I think
which is not character.
Which isn't. There is a moment. Her execution is one of the more interesting moments in the game, and not I don't mean the literal execution, but the lead up to it, where everybody's telling her to run and all of that. Like I think that little moment is remarkable and very memorable. Everything else about Kirimi, I'm kind of like, she's fine.
Yeah, I say the rest of her, it's like you don't know her, and then suddenly by the end, I'm like, oh, you're really interesting. Like the end of her character arc. I do think that that visceral reaction to her execution is so interesting, and like up until that point, like everyone was kind of like against her because they like didn't understand like how she could do all of this, but like to her it made perfect sense because, you know, according to her prime minister character, like she was trying to get out for the good of her people. But then at the very, very end, just like how everyone is like comes to her side and is like, run, get out, like you can do it, like we're like, you have to, like, we need somebody to try. And it's just like so tragic and like very well done. So I think that leaves her in sure as a character because I think she just kind of evens out. Yeah. How much do we, we've got
a lot of characters yet. We're going to have to speed up a little bit. Taka.
Is this which version
that's
of Taka
why, that's why I was
this?
scrolling down to see if there's another version of Taka. I think this is just Taka.
Taka?
There he is. There he is.
We've got, because we've got, I was going to say,
I'm going to go so far as to say that and that is where I would put them.
Actual Taka reserve course, protagonist Taka, bleh.
It just isn't used. It's just not even a plot point. It's such a weird, like, I know what they're doing. It's a bait and switch, but it's just nothing. It's just nothing.
I agree. I don't think it is. It's just a bait and switch. Yeah, it's just there to. Yeah. So I think Taka himself is like very like B tier. So like I think going reserve course like totally makes sense for him. I think he is kind of. I do think he's tragic, and I think that like everything about his like relationship with Mondo and his like reaction and just, you know, everything that he's dealing with like internally is like very, very, it's pretty good.
I agree. So, he's a character I'm torn on because on one hand, I think they did a lot with his character. I think his relationship with Mondo was really interesting, and then his genuine grief is one of the only times in the first game that the character is allowed to feel genuine grief, and the fact that he just regresses. Like, you know, it's like grief doesn't always make you stronger, and the fact that all these other characters, are hardened and refined through their grief, but Taka isn't, and that he collapses under the weight of it, and I think that's interesting. But also, it feels like there's a lot left on the table with Taka that we just never got to. So yeah, I feel like he's a B tier. He's a reserve.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think he can just like, he can stay right there. So, all right, who's next?
Next character is, I'm just gonna preemptively put this character, and I've never met this person, which is only half true. This is the scout, which is one of the most interesting concepts for a character in Danganronpa. This is the talent scout. This is the guy who goes out and finds the ultimate. Genius. What a cool character. Love the concept. I've been rewatching DR3 for reasons, and boy, does he's just not in it. He's got one episode, but otherwise he's just not in the show.
Everyone in chat saying like he does nothing and they do nothing with him. I think that's so true. Like, he's just there to acknowledge that they have a scout and to sort of be a little mysterious, like, and then be a plot point, like in it's just so disappointing though.
He could have been so cool, and his personality is fine. Like, I have no qualms with him, except for the fact that he's just not in the show.
Yeah. I totally agree. I feel like he's like bordering on being an interesting character, like at least in the characterization they do show of him. But then they don't go anywhere with it. Like,
this is another, I would watch an entire 2-episode arc of him scouting the 78th class.
Yes.
There's a better anime out there where they took 2 episodes to be like, how does Hope Speak even work? How does the scout go around finding these talents? What are the talents that almost make it but don't because there's somebody else that, like, there's such a better concept there, and they just do nothing with it.
Yeah, I actually, the comments about him dabble me saying to absolve Jin Kirigiri of some guilt.
No, like, I refuse to allow the show to do that.
I know, yeah, it's true. But
let Jin Kirigiri be a bad man.
He can be bad.
He can be a bad man.
I like that he has this like promise like to take care of Kyoko though. Like his purpose is to have a connection with Kyoko and like have someone alive that has a connection with her, but she doesn't really know it. So like I get what they were going with, but like we don't actually know him. Leave him there.
No, exactly. Completely.
Yeah.
All right, next. It's the guy. It's Mr. Lies.
This little fucking shit that
Man. I feel like I have such complicated yet positive feelings about Kokichi at the end of the day. Like, I say I hate him, put him in A tier.
Okay.
That would be I love him and I hate him. I think as a character, just like juicy, like full of like contradictions. I feel like he is the definition of like what they were going for the majority of Danganronpa V3. Like he's the thesis character in the same way that Komeda is the thesis character of Danganronpa 2 to an extent. I think he is like super, I mean, annoying isn't the right word. I think he's just like a problem, but he's just there to cause problems. Like that's, but also not, because he's the character that, you know, like Byakuya and like Nagito, he's there to play 4D chess.
Except for unlike them, or certainly unlike Togami, he's actually doing it.
He's actually doing it.
Like, what I like about Kokichi is he walks the walk and talks the talk. Like, he clearly, it becomes clear as it goes on. Like, honestly, my only hot take about Kokichi is I actually just wish he'd lasted towards the end, till the end. I know they don't typically do that. That's why they took out Komeda. And also, don't get me wrong, the case where he dies is really, really interesting.
It's good.
Like, I just feel like it could have been fun. I feel like there's something to be said about letting this character go toe-to-toe. Unfortunately, that would have stripped Shuichi of his agency, and I'm not advocating for that. But maybe not to the end, but just like a little farther. That being said, really interesting character. I think when I first played the game, I posted a piece of fan art I made of him that's just like, surprising nobody, I have a favorite. Because I do have a trend in these games. I really like him a lot.
Yeah, he's just a really, really, really good character. I really liked voicing him. If I may be so bold, I personally like my voice interpretation for him more, but that's just like me.
I love you. So I would not say that. Like in that, like I think your voice is incredible, but I think his actor who has his problems is one of the. He's doing such incredible work. Like, oh
no, he's fantastic.
It's like some of the coolest voice acting I've heard in that game.
No, you're totally right. Yeah. You're totally right. I mostly mean just the like tone match.
I think because they were bringing back so many actors, I think it would have sounded better if he sounded more like a kid. But I just also won't diminish the performance that was going into that. It's top fucking tier. Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. His performance is like fucking incredible. Like it is so good, and I don't want to discredit that at all. Yeah, it is really, really good. But I did have a fun time like exploring his character because I felt like
I didn't want to make that sound like I didn't like your voice from. I really do. I didn't want to put down another actor doing a really good job. That's all.
No, you're absolutely right, and I didn't mean it in that way either. I guess what I should have framed it as, I liked that we had different interpretations of the character.
I agree with that wholeheartly. Yeah.
That's more what I meant. Yeah. So cool. Very fun.
100%. No, really, really cool character. Yeah. Whoa. Why? Poor K. Okay. Sorry. Next up, we have Kamaru.
Where did you put Kamaru? Oh, okay. I see you. Hello, Kamaru. Somewhere reserve course.
Yeah.
I think she's fine. I think she's
fine.
Cool.
That was a fine character right there.
Yeah. I think she's fine.
She's fine.
It's funny. She's fine. It's funny because I played a whole game for her, and I think she's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, which I guess is sort of her, not her point, but like, I think her voice performance is really good. I really like the way like her character is portrayed by her VA. But also like she's almost bordering on like, I don't want to say like I don't know her, but there's something
just not much there. It just seems like her arc is fine, but I think Hinata does the normal kid in extraordinary circumstances thing more interestingly than she does. And part of that's not her fault. It's just Despair Girls. I think she's fine.
She's fine. She's super normal. She's a normie. Yeah. And like, yeah, it's funny because like, again, that's what she is, like within the world too. She's just a normal person.
Yeah. Like we're not like turning her down. This is literally her characterization. This is who she is.
Yeah. I think that's where she belongs. So
okay, well, next up, anything but normal, it's Korekiyo!
I think he should go right next to Juzo.
You know what? Valid. Hey, they're best friends. Look at them go.
They can hold hands down there. Actually, I think this might be our first sinkhole. You know, like I feel like he could probably go into the sinkhole.
I don't disagree with you, but I will say, playing with him as our best friend this time did elevate him a little bit for me, in that like I genuinely loved how much Shuichi loved this man until it all went wrong.
It is so funny to me that like through sheer happenstance of our free time events, we made him our bestie.
Yeah.
And the game was like, why would you be besties with this guy? Like,
but I'll also say, like, the way Shuichi's written in that, he opens up with Korekiyo way more than he does in any of his other social links. It's just, like, really funny to me. I'm perfectly fine to put him in sinkhole, but I did want to comment that making him our bestie was fascinating and very funny.
It was fascinating and really funny. I totally agree. I feel like he's again one of those characters that I could almost put him in Cursed by the Narrative as well, or Cursed by the Adaptation a little bit. Again, even though he appears in one piece of media in the franchise. I think that the role he plays like in his case too is like really interesting and fascinating. The fact that he's like our accidental best friend in our playthrough.
And I actually liked the version of him we saw in the free time events. Like I genuinely did. Like I agree with the Curse by the Adaptation thing, because it's the same thing as Chisa, where it's like
it's like we were so close, and then the way we resolved his final character twist was just like, man,
boy,
really?
Boy,
oh boy. Amazing until he isn't. That's accurate. Yeah, like, and that, it just like sucks. So yeah, I don't think he's a real sinkhole. I think he is cursed by the in-game narrative.
I think the next character arguably is a sinkhole.
Okay.
I think this is up to interpretation, and I think it's up to discussion. But this is the next character.
Sinkhole.
Yeah, I think this is arguably our first sinkhole.
Absolutely sinkhole.
Absolutely craters the game.
Truly
could not have been more mishandled.
Absolutely the worst. Although not,
I was about to say not actually the worst. Not even the worst in that game. Shockingly,
I would maybe not tied, because she's a victim. So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But like,
this is not about her the character. Her the character is whatever. It's perfectly fine. I think I actually both respect and could have, in a very different situation, admired what they were trying to do with this character. But boy, oh my god, could not have been handled worse.
Yeah. Just sucks that whole game down, and it's just really
borderline
is a big,
makes the game
big bummer.
like not playable. Like, it's really bad. So
yeah, it really sucks.
Again, this is another one of those where handled differently, I do understand what they were trying to go for. Like, I'm not, but, and I'm also not saying that narratives can't try to tackle challenging topics. I'm just saying don't do it that way.
Yes, exactly. Like, this is definitely a running theme with like a number of, you know, I guess we'll say complicated and controversial characters with, you know, very sensitive topics behind their character arc and behind their, you know, their characterization and their development. So, and again, it's just, it's like,
I almost think that if they
don't go there if you don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Like,
I also, there is part of me that wonders if they had simply cut the train sequence, whether like, how differently I'd feel, because the train sequence makes it is just the lowest of the low. But I do wonder if you cut that, whether the rest of her narrative would have landed better, but it doesn't matter because the train sequence is in the game. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, sinkhole. It sucks.
Okay, next, I don't care. It's Kurokuma.
Who is this?
It's Kurokuma.
Kurokuma?
I just don't care.
Blech.
Yeah,
I don't fucking care.
Boy, could I not care less about Kurokuma.
Whatever. We don't even need to talk about Kurokuma.
Nope.
You doesn't exist in my brain.
Next up is Kyoko.
Best girl, A. Yeah. I know I'm saying A, even though it's not what the tier is actually titled.
No,
but,
she's just a good character. This is a good character right here.
That is a good character. Best girl. I mean, like, I'd say she's probably close to S tier, because of, I mean, she's also a character I'd say that goes through some really great character growth as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm curious what your thoughts are about her, if you have any.
I just like her. I think she's a good character. I think, transparently, if we're putting Kyoko in S tier, I'd bump Kokichi up, because I think Kokichi's just a more interesting character. That's why I put them in this order. But, yeah, I think...
you could do that. They could probably both go into, like, the lower S tier.
Yeah,
like,
I really like both of them.
Yeah.
But I like Kyoko. I think she's a utility character done the best possible way you can do a utility character. I just really like...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really like her. I think she's charming. And I also think they make her... I think when I was replaying Danganronpa 1, I was surprised by how long they keep her away from you. They really like keep their cards close to their chest for a while, and I respect that too. I like Kyoko. Yeah,
no. Really strong character. I like her characterization in the later installments as well too. So
okay,
yes.
Unfortunately, we've stacked up too mid to function when it was in fact reserved for one man. But he's arrived. It's his moment. Here comes Munakata.
Munakata.
It's your tier. I'm putting you at the front of it, not because you're the best too mid to function, but because you're the most too mid to function, and I do respect you for that.
The most too mid to function. Okay, so this is another anime character. This dude is the he's basically like the Makoto of that trio that we were talking about with Chisa and Juzo. And they really are like the Shadow Realm version of Makoto, Kyoko, and Byakuya. Yeah. Like
that being said, Munakata is a fascinating. Actually, what I'm about to say is true for a lot of characters in GR3. Sorry. Basically, first half interesting, back half just the most boring thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Just a bummer.
Just not a good time. Just not a good time at all. I did really like his first couple of episodes, though. I thought he was very intriguing. I thought the argument he has with Makoto early on about basically he is a and this is exactly why Danganronpa had to end. He is a he is a hope who has gone so far he's become despair.
Yes, that's his concept.
He's a hope that will kill everybody else to ensure that none of them ever become a despair. This becoming despair.
Which which means that he is an agent of despair. Yeah,
thank God
so
this is over.
yeah, God, yeah, and then this is the guy that Juzo was in love with, and but he was in love with Chisa, so they had this like weird love triangle thing happening.
Well, it was more Chisa was in love with him, he was in love with Chisa, and Juzo was also there.
And Juzo was there.
Arthur fisting on the side.
That's so true.
God,
what a mess.
Man. You think about Juzo a lot. I weirdly think about Munakata a lot. I'm like, who the fuck? Anyway.
I think it's really funny how, but when I think that the show wants us to think about Chisa a lot, but then we've latched on to these other two guys.
Not in a positive way, though. No. I don't benefit from this, and he's not my least favorite character in DR3. Yeah, okay.
He's the true definition of too mid to function.
Yes.
Yeah. Like 100%. So great. This tier was made specifically for him.
It was indeed, and also a few more are here. Also, Mahiru.
Mahiru, also too mid to function. She can just go right there.
Yeah, I think this is where she lives.
Yep. I would also say she sure is a character, but like, yeah, that's where she should go.
Yep.
That's it. I mean,
I have nothing more to say about Mahiru.
I don't have anything.
I have nothing more to say about Mahiru.
Yeah, I just don't have I don't have strong feelings for her either way. Yeah. So, I mean, if y'all love Mahiru, that is totally fine.
I don't dislike Mahiru. I'm not putting, like, this is her being at the back is just because I happen to put her there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't dislike Mahiru at all. I think there are moments right before she died where we started to see her personality come out, and I think her interactions with Hinata were starting to become quite interesting. It's very clear that Mahiru is a complex and interesting character who simply never is on screen in order to be that. And
yeah, they just don't resolve her. Exactly. Is kind of it, you know?
So because of that, I just don't really have much to say.
Yeah, I think that's fine. All right, moving on. Do we want to do like one or two more and then take a quick break? What do you think?
Oh, sure. I'm
fine
fine with that.
Taking a... Yeah, cool. Who else you got?
I got
down in the...
an assassin. I'm putting her up here. This is I was putting everybody into mid to function to start, but it's about to go into line 2.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Maki, also great character growth. I love how at the beginning I just felt nothing too negative feelings.
Oh, you felt
towards
negative.
Her.
You were actively like, I hate this woman, and I don't ever want to see her face or hear her voice.
You're right.
It was great. Like her. No, it was great. It was really funny.
And then, but I mean, she is the like absentee character that they did correctly. Like she's just really well written. She's just really, really good. Overall, really good character. Really excellent character growth. Your performance for her was really, really good. I love how you differentiated her from Shuichi really well, which is, I know, hard to do because they're in the same range and they talk to each other
a lot
in like every scene.
A whole lot.
From chapter 3 onward. So, great. But yeah.
Thank you. I really enjoyed playing her. I like Maki.
So good. Yeah, very good character. Her relationship with Kaito, obviously, like the slow reveal of her having feelings for him is just really, really good. So, yeah. Yep, I think that's where she goes.
Okay.
Cool.
Next up is Makoto.
Makoto, our weird, funky little guy.
This little alien of a man. I love how weird he is.
He's so
I love
weird.
how weird he is.
I think if we have Byakuya and Chiaki and Hajime and in like super high school level, that's where he needs to go to.
Yeah, I think so.
Honestly, he's got to be up there.
Look at this, our super. I know.
Our super school level is the big one
in super high school level.
Oh, but that's where he belongs.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I love this very, very strange normal man.
This very bizarre. I'm just an average high school boy, but nope.
No, you're really not.
Like, what a funny concept of a character, and like what a great place to like set the stage for franchise with, because if you know, the way Makoto works for me is like he establishes like I said, that dichotomous tone to Junko, that then you can build all of your other characters off of going forward.
Absolutely.
Like he really is like this groundwork keystone character that I feel like has established where all of the other characters can go, both in like SDR2 and in V3.
Yeah.
Like you kind of baseline. Like he's your control group character.
He's your control group. He's your launching off point, but I also do enjoy how he's also kind of a borderline cryptid after Danganronpa 1. Like there's some, because he's like this little weird superhero that is beloved but feared, and I think that's just a really fascinating way to take his character.
Yes, because like he actually is very like influential and powerful.
I will personally say I would put him in A, because I think he is more interesting outside of Danganronpa 1 than he is in Danganronpa 1. Is my only flag on Makoto. I think I like playing as Hinata and Shuichi much more than Makoto, and that's only, I mean, they're allowed to be more interesting because they came later and because they riff off of that template, but I do think Makoto gets much weirder the longer the series goes on, and that cracks me up.
That's fair. I think
that's
I
my
probably
only
that is totally fair. I feel like, I don't know, maybe because he was my first protagonist in Danganronpa, I feel like I really connected with him.
I also love your voicing for him too. Like it's really good. Yeah.
Thank you. It's one of those where I found him and improved over time. Like I loved voicing Makoto because he felt like my little growing character. Like he felt like a character where I could find that sort of, you know, that niche of that performance. And then he's also my baseline. He's like a little baseline character for me too. So and then like you said, the way he kind of turns into this cryptid, and I think his portrayal in DR3 is pretty strong as well. I think he's the only character in the anime that they got right.
I agree. Like, he gets out not only unscathed, but like I think he's just straight up done well, actually.
Yeah.
I really do.
I feel like they really kind of got him in DR3, while also like making him consistent but still giving him some character growth, like, which I didn't think that he needed or could go any further, but they still did that in the end.
They did find it. Like I straight up think the plot points involving Makoto are like fine. Like they're good. Yeah.
Those are the only those are like the few like actual strong points of the anime that I can point to. So,
I agree.
Yeah, low S tier, upper level A, you know, like in there. So I agree. All right, one more, and then we'll take a quick break.
Okay.
I think.
Next, well, this is kind of, the next few are quick.
Okay.
It's this guy.
Bleh.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Again,
I have a bad feeling we're gonna put all the kids here. Although I like, what's his name? Blue-haired kid. I like him more.
It starts with an M, I think.
I guess I don't like him
very
enough.
Confidently.
I thought it was an N. Nagisa. Thank you.
N.
I was like, it was an N, not an M. Thank you. I like Nagisa more. Nagisa can go up between 2 mid to function and reserve core, but the rest of the kids live down here.
Function.
Yeah, I think he's fine in 2 mid to function.
Yeah, he kind of could go right next to Munakata because I feel like he serves. Just throw him right into 2 mid to function.
There you go, buddy. Best friends.
There you go.
Yeah, really cruising here.
That's it.
Munakata, Nagisa, and Jin Kirigiri. Yeah. My boys.
I think you're right. I think a lot of the kids are going to end up in Bleh. Or at least... that's almost all of them. We just need
that's
one
all
more.
the kids. That's all the kids.
Well,
we're missing a major kid. You're right. Do you want me to just grab her? Here she is.
Let's grab Monica. Yeah,
Here's Monica.
I see her. Yeah, where do we want to put Monica? I have a place for Monica. Fixed by the adaptation. Saved by the adaptation because I did not enjoy her in Ultra Despair Girls, but I think she's hilarious in the anime. And that they did, I don't know. I just think that
I don't know if I agree with you, but also I do. It's very complicated.
It's just weird,
right?
right?
I completely I put her there even before you said it. I completely agree this is where Monica resides. But maybe for the opposite reason. I think she's a very consistent, not enjoyable at all, but very consistent and somewhat interesting villain in Despair Girls. And then the anime does the most buck wild shit with her I've ever seen. And I don't know if I like it, but I also do think it's maybe the most interesting thing the anime does. So I do agree she belongs here, but I don't know if I think she was fixed or wrecked by the anime. I just think that, like, I don't know.
They did something.
They sure did do something with her.
They fucking, like, made a choice. I love that, to me, in the anime, she reads as a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, she's the one character that I feel like, you know, of all of these, like, absolutely, like, bizarro teens that we're supposedly interacting with, like, of all of them, like, she's the one that, like,
feels like a teen, like really like a teen.
She's become a teen, and like she's just like, and I love the fact that, you know, becoming a teenager can kind of rewrite your personality a bit to some extent, and I appreciate that of her.
I agree.
You know,
I also
the anime
thought
version.
It was super interesting in the rewatch. Sorry, I'm gonna grab one more.
She does go to space. She doesn't want to deal. She literally is like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to space, and then she does that.
And then she just flies up there in a bus.
She's the ultimate. What was her? She's like ultimate engineer. Like, isn't that her?
No.
What was her?
No. She's
what was it?
like ultimate.
What was it in? Like roboticist.
No, she's not. She's
what
like
was her thing?
Because they're the little ultimates. She's like the little ultimate, like
little. Oh yeah.
Like school council, whatever. I don't know.
Well, oh, that's right. Yeah.
Homeroom. Yeah, homeroom. She's like nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
But I thought we concluded her like her actual
she just
thing
has
was,
money.
Like, yeah.
She just owns Toa.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
What I will say is I did enjoy during my rewatch of DR3 that spoiler alert, this character, Gekko Gahara, is genuinely one of the funniest characters in all of DR3. Gekko Gahara is the bit that keeps on giving, but it is revealed, not too far into the anime that Gekko Gahara is in fact a robot that's being piloted around by Monica. And you think the first time you're watching that this is gonna be a setup for like a big betrayal and a big like reveal, because Gekko Gahara is like buddy with Aoi and Makoto, and she's like, I believe in hope, and I believe. Sorry, she's voiced by a really weird Monami, so that's what she sounds like. That I believe in hope, and I believe because you taught me how hope works, and I love you guys, and we're best friends, and I love it so much.
Gina, that's so accurate. That's
you.
like exactly her voice.
Thank you so much. I've not practiced for that moment. She sounds like that. And you think this is a big setup for a betrayal. Like, God, Gekko Gahara was evil the whole time. Except for Gekko Gahara is just straight up helpful the whole time.
Yes!
And then Monica pieces out. She never, like, betrays them or anything. So it's just, like, this very strange, like, she just was cosplaying as a member of Hope and then was like, yeah, that's fine, and then left the planet. And that's the plot line. Like,
that's it.
Fucking...
It's
sorry.
Wild. It's just so weird. It's just like the most bizarre. They were like, they sat down. They're like, how do we need to wrap up Ultra Despair Girls? They're like, we left some things hanging at the end of Ultra Despair Girls, and then that was the choice they made.
And I'm not upset because it's not like I wanted more Ultra Despair Girls, and the Gekko Gahara bit is funny. I'm not gonna complain about all the robot battles with Gekko Gahara. It's funny. It's just like fucking whatever. My reaction is just like,
yeah. I mean, where does she go in here? Does she go in? I think she probably goes in like. Where do you even put her? Where do we put her?
I'll just put her there.
That's fine. That is fine. Yeah.
I love how she hung out with Komeda for like 1 week and was like, I think this despair thing is kind of fucked, actually.
Yes.
If the despair team is this guy, I want no part in it. This is cringe as hell. Oh my god.
It's really funny how she like absolutely ricocheted off of Komeda. Like and like he had the opposite effect of furthering her into like the hello.
Corey.
I'm sorry, Corey's here. I know that this is what she does during every stream we do.
Hey, yeah. This is what she
oh, look at her! Look at this good cat. That's so sweet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at her.
Pets.
Oh, that's extremely cute. Yes, the little shoulder cat. I love her. The cat little cameo.
If I lean back, she'll just fall asleep on my chest, but I'm not gonna do that because I need to be on mic.
Oh, thank you. I'm very sorry that you have to suffer, Corey, for the stream.
I'm not suffering her. This is every Zoom call I have for work. She's just like, what if I show my butt to the camera? Yeah. What do you think about that?
Pepper does that too, because like Pepper, normally my camera is facing like this way, and then Pepper will be in her tree, and then she will get up from her tree after taking a nap for a while, and then just like her tail will go like like this across the frame every time, like as she's like getting pets. So yeah, we love our cats. We love our stream and Zoom meeting cats. How do you feel? How do you feel? You want to? Are we feeling a quick break?
What are you feeling?
Well, how many more are in our list here? We still have a bit to go. Yeah, still have a ways to go.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We're like halfway.
We're more than halfway. We're significantly more than halfway. And some of these people are fallen to I don't know this person. So we're actually doing pretty well.
This is actually great. Okay, so I think, how about this? We're gonna take a quick like 5-minute break. We're gonna hop up, refresh our drinks, like go grab a snack. Everyone go stretch real quick, and then we will continue with our tier list and our little retrospective chat here. So
yeah, don't like the mic, baby.
Oh no!
Don't do that.
Does she have anything to say? Can you get her to say something,
baby? What? Nope.
No. Oh.
Nah, not right now. Not right now.
Damn.
She thought about it. You could see it. She looked straight at me and was like, maybe.
I could see the gear turning in her head as she was like looking at you. It was so cute. All right. Yep. We will take a really, really quick break, and we will just see you in a couple of minutes. Everyone hop up and stretch, and we'll see you in a few.
Yep. See you in a sec. Welcome back from break, everybody. I hope you had a good stretch, got some water, saw your pets and loved ones, whatever it is.
My pets and loved ones are the same. My pets are my loved ones, and my loved ones are my pets.
Yes, and yes, and yes. Is Pepper in the room with us?
Pepper is in the room with us, so she might make an appearance. We'll see how she's feeling. She'll either make an appearance. Victor, I love you.
I wasn't gonna comment on it. I wasn't gonna say a goddamn word, but I thought of you, Victor. I had you in my thoughts.
No, y'all are right to call me out, so thank you. Honestly, thank you, Victor, for hanging with us this evening and modding. I really, really appreciate it. So everyone, shout out to Waffalonia. Yes, Pepper is in the room. She will either make an appearance trying to, I don't know, cross my desk setup here, or you'll see her in the background just like begging to be let out of the door, because she'll do that as well.
If little baby Basil comes back into the room, I'll show her to camera, because I don't think anybody's actually seen out of other than still photos in this playthrough little baby Basil, so we'll see if I can get her for you.
That's right, she has made some like picture appearances, at least
she likes to cuddle with you.
She likes to cuddle. I'll see if I can get Pepper.
Basil, come here.
Oh no, she jump down on the ground.
Hi! Hello, baby! Oh, still good. What a good girl. What a good girl.
All right, this is the pet corner real quick.
One sec, y'all. Come here. Oh my gosh. Gosh, my good girl.
I'll do one too.
This is Basil. She is a dog. Her name is Basil, and she doesn't like being up. Hey, baby. That is my good girl.
So cute. She's a good girl. Hi, Basil. Hi, Baz.
How are we feeling? Okay, I'll put you down.
Cute. Pepper's just rolling around on the floor in the background here. She's like, maybe I
she now wants playtime. She's like, oh well, that was fun. Let's do something with that.
That's literally what's happening. What Basil is or Pepper?
Yeah, Basil is.
Yeah, Pepper's doing the same thing. She's like, it's time to roll. It's time to play. Our sweet little spice pets.
They are good, and I love. They are the Spice Girls.
Spice Girls.
They're very good. Good little Basil. Nope, that's my shoe. No.
Take it back.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it now, so we're just gonna have to live and let live, I guess.
You're gonna have one less shoe in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's a good one too. I'm not sure how to fix that when I'm on stream.
I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell you. Is it a shoe you like? Do you need to go rescue it?
Yeah.
You should go rescue your shoe. All right, everyone. I'm at the helm now. It's only me. You and me. This is a time where I should drop like Gina lore, but all I really want to do is just get my cat on the camera instead.
Uh-oh.
Where'd you go?
You're trapped in here with me.
Oh, there we go. All right, we're getting out of hand. All right.
Yes, it is. It's all good.
Pepper will make herself available, known if she wants to. So, did you save the shoe? Are we good?
I saved the shoe, and Basil's now stuck in here with me. So she can't get into too much trouble, other than
Pepper's in here
chewing
too,
through
so.
microphone cords if she wants.
Maybe we'll just keep an eye on that.
All right, Danganronpa tier list. Let's keep going.
Let's do it. Yeah, very serious tier listing. All right, let's do this.
All right.
Okay.
Guess what? It's demonetization hell. Mikan!
I think because she demonetizes our channel, she has to go in the sinkhole.
I resent her, but also she can't go in the sinkhole. She doesn't deserve to be in the sinkhole. I won't put her there. But I will say that she did demonetize every video she was in, and I gotta tell ya.
I tried really hard. I tried really hard to remedy that, but she's iconic, but
honestly, one of the most fun characters to voice in the whole series. I loved voicing Mikan. I really enjoyed that.
Your voice for her is really, really, really excellent. So, and like that's how I envision and hear that type of character now. Like I don't know. So, I would say she's either. She's too mid to function.
Yeah, I'll just put her there. I think that's. I feel differently about her than I feel about like Nagisa and Munakata, but like I think this is probably appropriate nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I don't like her.
That's fair.
Like I just
do you want me to put her in bleh? I can.
She's probably more bleh for me, but she could be like low level to mid to function too if you prefer her to go there.
This is one of those playing her biases me. I got excited every time she showed up because I got to do a voice, and that's always fun, you know, like I associate her with being up here.
What's so funny is that
with this voice, but oh my god.
It's hilarious because that's one of those voices that Discord completely erases whenever you do it. So I can't hear it, but I know what you're doing. So I would put her in bleh.
Okay.
I would say.
That's fine. I honestly don't like not feel that.
The couch describer, she's very core, which is so accurate. Like, yeah.
Another fun one that we love. It's Mew.
Okay, and I know people like Mew and people like her character. I know people are like all about her. I don't like Mew. I don't like Mew. And I know I've said it actively. I would put her in Sinkhole. Okay. I would put her in Sinkhole because I think that she could have been good. I think she could have been good, but there's aspects about her character that just like really just bring it all down for me, you know what I mean?
That's
and it's
fair.
made worse like you said by voicing her and like giving voice to like all of the like ableist slurs that she uses,
the real
like in her
vitriol
speech.
she spews.
She like, and like I know it's like the bit and it's like her character and stuff, but like I just can't. So to me she's a Sinkhole because I think that
I'm gonna up her out of Sinkhole only because I don't think she makes the game unplayable at all.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think I don't particularly like her, although I do understand that people like the bit. I thought it made me much more she made me much more uncomfortable when you had to voice her. And all like that's just straight up. I think when it's just text that you're clicking through, I didn't like it's not that I didn't care, but like it's just like, all right, just go on. But I don't think she makes the game unplayable is my personal feeling. Yeah.
And you know what? It's frustrating because I feel like I had warmed to her a bit like after her character arc resolved, like with her death, because like we got a bunch of like character revelations about her, like post her death. And my cat wants to be let out. Sorry. We'll get there. Sorry, I'll get you, Pep. I knew that was gonna happen. I think she is honest. She's very intelligent, and she like makes some. Thank you, Victor. Oh my god,
that was like magic. That was incredible. Except for also Pepper doesn't want to leave, which I also think is very funny.
Yeah. She's being so. Oh my god. She's being the most cat right now. She's being such a cat. Anyway, I think here's my issue with Mew. I think that I think she's very intelligent. She makes a lot of like incredible plays and incredible calls. I think that her whole thing about how she calls the Blackened like every single case.
I really enjoyed that this time through, I will say.
Really good.
Yeah.
I love that she also has like relationships with other characters like outside of the relationship with like, you know, the main character or like what we see. Like we just know that she's like doing stuff and that she, you know, she is very perceptive. And like there's a lot of aspects about her that I find really interesting. I find her I just actively dislike interacting with her every single time.
I think that's totally fair. I really do.
And again, it's made worse by like voicing her and like saying all of the like problematic shit that she says. Again, when it's like, it's a bit, but it's like it's also not a bit for me whenever
I'm not saying
like, it's
a bit to defend it at all.
I think bleh. I think she's fine there. Okay.
Mondo's up next.
Mondo sure is a character. I think he's a little above sure is a character. I think he's probably, I think he is sure is a character, but not too. Is he too mid to function or sure is a character? What do you think?
Those aren't the two. It's reserve course and too mid to function.
Reserve course to mid to function. Yeah.
I'm gonna put him in too mid to function. This is I
That's fair.
I don't dislike Mondo. I'm not putting him there for that. I think Mondo is being weighed down by a lot of baggage for me. It's just like he dies early. He's attached to a really messy case. I don't know. I think there's something there. But I just think like I think he's weighed down by circumstance in a lot of ways.
His execution is weird. And just everything around him. I think, yeah, you're right. He does just get sort of weighed down.
Yep.
All the way through. Mm-hmm. Like, he could be really, he could be really interesting, but.
Yeah, he's another one of those, like, fandom characters where I completely understand why the fandom took him and ran, because there's a lot of, like, seeds there that you could nurture into something super, super interesting.
Yes.
But I think, again, going only off of the canon content that is presented in the way that it's presented, I think it's just kind of
Yeah, I place him literally right next to Leon, which is what you did. Mm-hmm. So that's totally fine. Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we got a bunch of bears. You ready? It's Monodam.
In the trash. Monodam can be bleh. The rest of them can be sinkhole. No. Yes. Sinkhole. Sinkhole. Mm-hmm. The Cubs can be in the sinkholes. A lot of time to fill out the sinkholes.
It has to be the way it has to be paved. I'd probably put them in bleh too, just because, again, I don't think they actually ruin the series, but I really did not enjoy their bit.
I think Monotaro could maybe go in bleh, but then they do his whole bit with Monofanny.
I'd honestly put, like, Monosuke above Monotaro. Like, I really hated the Monofanny Monotaro, like, plot.
Terrible. Awful. Delete tier. I love chat. You're fucking on fire tonight. This is so good. Into the pit.
Yeah, they can stay in the pit. I have no investment in excavating them out of the pit, so that's where they're gonna stay.
But again, for some reason, I just feel like Monodam is just barely ekes out ahead into bleh.
No, I liked it. There are moments of goodness with Monodam, and by that I mean, like, anything at all. Like, just anything at all.
Yeah. You didn't love Monoke Gina than what he did to your voice box?
He did damage to me.
Yeah.
I hurt myself on Monokid. He did real actual damage to me. So no, he stays there.
God.
Although I'm being a hypocrite because Fuyuhiko also did real actual damage to me, but I love him enough to where it's okay.
Fuyuhiko, I feel like, was very interesting because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Fuyuhiko felt like a learning experience for, like, your vocal performances and your vocal range.
Yeah,
like,
actually, Fuyuhiko has been very important to me as a voice actor to know exactly what my limit is, because the problem with Fuyuhiko is I can do his voice comfortably for about 5 minutes. And I could have, there's a reality in which I made a mistake and auditioned with that voice, thinking, this is comfortable, I can do it for an audition. And then I would have shown up in the booth and destroyed myself because after 5 minutes, I crater. And my ability to maintain that voice absolutely disappears. So yeah, it's actually, I'm very grateful to Fuyuhiko because I learned a lot about what I can and can't do sustainably. But I learned that for a character who lasted to the end of the game. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah, it really sucks, but yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at chat and remembering Rise and Shine Ursine as well. It's like, ugh. But yeah, I'm glad that, I mean, it sucks that
I liked Rise and Shine Ursine.
I actually
So long, farewell.
So long, farewell is pretty funny. Like, but it was funny that anytime we heard Rise and Shine Ursine, and I'd be like, oh my god, no. Oh, you gonna come say hi? No? She thought about it. Hold on.
It's really funny because the camera has perfectly obscured her this entire. Yeah, now we finally can see ears. That's the first actual cat sighting.
Can you see her ears?
Yeah, we can see ears.
Girly. All right, that's fine.
Okay, next up is Monami.
Monami.
I'm gonna go grab Usami as well because they're the same.
Yeah,
sorry.
They're kind of the same. Monami and Usami, I would. Again, I am biased because I voiced these two characters, and I really, really love voicing them. And my dream is to get a mascot character with with that voice.
I want that
like,
more than anything for you. The moment you hit that voice in like episode 1 of Danganronpa 2, I like fell in love with this character in a way I hadn't before because it's such a good voice for her. Yeah.
Thank you. I really, really liked playing her, and I think that has definitely biased me to her. I think she's very cringe fail, but I knew that's the point.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think she was so much fun, and she's like very sad and like pathetic, but cared so much, and just the reveal that, you know, she's not real, and you know, or I guess
also
is an
kind
AI.
of is Makoto. It's like an
But
AI.
kind of is.
This is Makoto's persona.
Yeah.
Not really.
Buddy.
That's not what she actually is. But like,
No,
but also
she's
kind
like,
of.
She's like his avatar a little bit.
Yeah,
like
his PA.
well, at least sort of. Yeah. So she's so like. She's got such fail energy, and I love her. So I would probably put her either where she is now or in a tier up above with Alter Ego. I probably would put her with Alter Ego if I'm being real. But maybe she's not that high.
I'm gonna put I don't know if I'd put her up there.
You know what?
Yeah, but I might do it like this.
Yeah, maybe Monami is there, and then Usumi is one up.
I got tired of all of the domestic abuse jokes that they kept making with Monami. I just really didn't like them. Didn't like it.
Yeah.
But Usumi as a character, or character concept, I think it's fine to put in just a good character.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think the rest of that was like done in pretty poor taste. But yes.
Although
I enjoy.
not that I'm saying it's good, but especially the line delivery that Monami's actual actor has whenever she's like, "Oh no, you're hitting me as hard as you can." And it's just that was like, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good, but I did laugh at least once.
It's not good, but when she's like, "Oh no, my bones,"
yeah,
you're like, yeah. It's the flat narration.
Again, I'm not defending it at all. I'm really not. But yeah, I also it's documented that I laughed at least once. So.
Yeah.
I'm throwing Mukuro in Cursed by the Adaptation. There she goes.
Yeah, there she is, kind of all the way through, you know?
Yeah.
Because
like, both this is not like unknown. Mukuro is the reason I've been calling out characters that are like fandom characters is because my fandom character is Mukuro. I think she is the single most interesting like raw material character in the franchise, but what's in the franchise is non-fucking existent, and what's there is cringe fail again.
Another cringe fail.
God, Danganronpa 3 makes her the most
like wet paper towel of the character.
And I laughed. I'm not gonna pretend I didn't laugh at the bit. I did, but like it's just disappointing because I feel like there's something so interesting about this child soldier of despair who partners with her analyst sister but never is doomed to die because like that's how, I don't know. I just think there's something really interesting about her. And what we saw of her playing Junko at the start of DR1, I think is very interesting. But also, this is a nothing character. This is a character I like just because I think I got inspired by what could have been.
Yeah, she definitely, they just, completely, conduct, character assassination on her in the anime. Like, they just did not write her character. They just did not even write who she was. No.
They wanted a funny bit to bounce off of Junko, and they got it. So, you know.
Yeah, it sucks because some of those moments were kind of funny, genuinely funny, but I was like, but that's not Mukuro though,
no.
Right? That does not feel like what this character was
based at all on any of the facts we had about Mukuro prior to the anime. So I'm not going to count it as canon, but I also realize that what's canon is a surprisingly likable character up until her death at the beginning of Danganronpa 1, but also she's putting on a facade, so who knows?
Yeah, and then I know that she has some auxiliary content that she appears in that gives her some characterization that I'm not familiar with it, so I don't know like what that characterization is like. But yeah, I think she's like either in this category, like cursed by the adaptation, bordering on I've never met this character before.
Yeah. I feel like she goes in one of these two.
Yeah,
I can't claim I haven't met her because I met a lot of her in the adaptation, actually. Yeah.
I think she's ultimately like cursed by the adaptation. Yeah. So, yep.
The next few are all, I don't know who, I've never met this person. A bunch of them are Despair Girl, people. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. This is Daya, who we've never met, but who we know a bit about. And I don't know who this is. And I don't know. I mean, this is Taka's dad. This is a bug.
That's Taka's dad.
This is a bug.
These are, okay, so for reference, these are a bunch of characters, at least as far as we know. One is an idol from Sayaka's group. These are collateral characters.
These aren't literally characters I haven't met. We actually did meet, or we got the dossiers on some of these characters in Ultra Despair Girls.
The bug is Toko's pet. We were trying to remember.
It's her stink bug.
It's her stink bug pet. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because these I'm pretty sure. And then Daya is
Mondo's brother, who died in their car crash / motorcycle accident.
Yeah, from his like backstory section. But yeah, I think the rest of them are all, as far as I know, characters that are they're the characters they're the optional side quest characters you can rescue in Ultra Despair Girls that are like collateral to the 78th class. Although the one guy with the
this guy, he's in a different art style. I don't know. I what's weird is I might actually know who this is, but it's not. For the picture's not summoning it up in my head.
Yeah, I am entirely unfamiliar with it. He's got like a very distinct little thumbnail though, and it's kind of like tripping me up a little bit. But all right, yeah, those are a bunch we've never met. We've actually like truly have not met them because they were in the game and we didn't find them.
Exactly.
So, is that Junko's? Someone's asking if that's Junko's boyfriend. Is that for real?
No. Junko's boyfriend is later.
Oh, he's later. Okay.
He's later.
Cool. Okay. I don't actually know what he looks like.
Yeah, you do. It's the ultimate neurologist. It's Deus Ex Machina neurologist who I've talked about a lot.
That is right.
Yeah, he's later on.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, well, skipping on to characters who matter. This one sure does. How we feel about Komeda? How we feel about this guy?
The most complicated character of the franchise, I would argue.
Yeah, I think that may be true.
Both in and out of the actual media itself. S tier. He's super high school level.
Easily,
he's super high school level. Like if we're putting. Look at who's in super high school level right now.
Yeah,
like, he's gotta go up there. Like
it's like all the Series Space characters and Gundam, and that's beautiful.
This dude, again, in the way that I think that Makoto laid the groundwork for what like Danganronpa could do with its characters. Like Nagito then takes that like groundwork and just starts building a mountain off of it.
Absolutely.
You know?
I love that Nagito is a character that could only exist in Danganronpa. And I don't mean a character whose superpower is luck. That's obviously existed outside of that, but Nagito very specifically is a reactionary character to the concept of Danganronpa. And I love that. I love that he's intrinsically tied to it, that the very fabric of his like existence is interwoven with Danganronpa. Like, you made a joke just like, what's Danganronpa? It's Nagito Komeda. But like, there's kind of truth to that, which is funny because obviously it pre-existed him. But he is a character that's so interwoven with it that I just think it's great. I think it's really fun. I really, really like the twists and turns his character took in Danganronpa 2. I love his heel turn. I think his heel turn is really, really fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think it's great.
I think that he is just a really, really solidly like written and built out character, like from like start to finish, just like all over the place. I'm not even like going to like sort of look at how fandom has interpreted him or like interacted with him, because I think it's like the fandom version of him is like just a meme.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not what he is in the text. So it's like, I think he's so frustrating, but also I get him so thoroughly and clearly. Like, I understand his character like to the bone, and I love that. Like, he's so realized.
I completely agree. And I think it's important to separate, like, just ignore the context around him and only like that's fine to engage with. I'm not saying it's bad to engage with that, but I do think that he's a little bit irony poisoned in that like because he's been a meme for so long, people forget that he's a really good character. And he's a really good character.
Exactly. I mean, I think he might like truly unironically be my favorite character from Danganronpa. Like, I think he actually is my favorite.
I think that's totally fair.
Yeah,
he's a good one.
I feel like it's the obvious choice. Like,
no, but because he's a good character.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna find another one like him, and I think that's great.
Yeah, so cool. Like you said, the heel turn is so good. I think again, Nagito was that type of character where they started to explore even more with how they can like construct their narratives within Danganronpa. You know, like I think of in Strawberry House, like when you get to control him, and like if you didn't do his free time events, like that's an opportunity for you to like learn about his characterization and his thought process a little bit, because you're up until that point the game is framing him as this character that like you can't relate to like at all. Like he's so diametrically opposed to like everything that's happening, and to then like thrust the player like into his shoes and say go, like let's clearly this dude also thinks he's like in an anime too, like in a main character. So like, let's go make him a main character for a minute.
He would never say he's a main character. He thinks it, but he'd never say it.
He would never say it, but he does think it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I just think that's so clever. Obviously, like everything around his case is so good. And I saw someone in chat say like how he weaponizes his luck, and I think that is so like incredible. And then plus like the wrap up for his free time events, where like they just like drop this huge like bombshell reveal about him, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. But like, and that's like optional. Like you didn't have to do that. But I just. Yeah.
And I do love how his good luck, bad luck ends up influencing his view of hope and despair as well. I think that's just really, really intriguing. The whole like, he has to kind of curse himself with bad luck to achieve incredible luck, and therefore hope and despair must be the same. Absolutely. Like to your point, he's one of those characters that shockingly by the end of it makes perfect sense. I really do enjoy that, considering how opaque he feels for so much of the game, to reach that point where you're like, oh, this is a solvable puzzle and I have solved it is pretty neat.
Yeah, really cool. Genuinely my favorite character, I think, of the franchise. So, S tier.
The next is Fuyuhiko's sister. I'm gonna just put her in I've never met this person. We have. I didn't particularly like her. I'd straight up put her in bleh, actually, but
I would put her in bleh. I think she's got some rancid vibes. So
yeah, I didn't like her at all. Although her final conversation with Hinata was not terrible, where she's like,
that's fair.
How can I, there's got to be some way to achieve ultimate status, because how can I ever be a person otherwise? How can I defend my brother otherwise? He deserves the best people, and if I'm not the best people, then he doesn't deserve me. That was interesting, but yeah, she's nasty.
Yeah. She's an interesting choice to be another one of those springboard characters that influences Hajime to make the decisions that he makes. So yeah. Okay.
We got Nidai.
Yeah, I think
I feel nothing for Coach.
I feel nothing for him either, and it sucks because I feel like, the game wanted me to sort of feel things for him, and we go on this. I mean, he's fun, but
and then he comes back from the dead, and he does love to do a big poop.
Yep, I got really tired of that bit, but I liked how his chapter 4, ultimate sacrifice, gentleman's agreement thing with Gundam
that was interesting.
Was done. I think that was really good, and I think that his relationship with Akane is important too, at least for her character growth. But again, I think they get stuck in this place because they're sort of this mid-game, not the best, but not the worst done, character arc, and I'm just kind of left going, I think feel very much.
The thing that I struggle with is just, I like Strawberry House, and that makes me think that I should like Nidai, but I genuinely, when I think about his actual moments in the game, I don't know. I don't really connect with them.
That's fair. I mean, he can stay into mid to function if you want. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Pekko's next.
Pekko. My instinct was also going to put her into mid to function, but for plot reasons, I don't know. Maybe that's not accurate. She might be one tier up. I think she might be one tier up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine with putting Pekko here. Pekko's another one where I don't really... I feel certainly more than I feel about Coach for her. But also, I don't have an emotional connection with Pekko. She's not a character that I think about outside of the framework in which she exists very often. But
sure.
She's still I like Pekko.
She's obviously very important for Fuyuhiko and for his character growth. Is somebody causing trouble in your office?
She was trying to dig her way into my booth, which is right here, which doesn't require digging into, and so I was just trying to understand what her goals were. She's fine. She's here.
Yeah, that's fair. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was just like, what's your goal here? Anyway,
what would you like? As far as her actual character, I don't really feel much. But I think that her role in the story is interesting. So
yeah,
I think that's probably where she hangs out.
I'm fine with her being in reserve course.
Cool.
Rantaro. I don't know this man.
I don't know this man. For plot reasons.
Yeah.
But I think he can go up near the top with Chihiro and the imposter.
At the top. But yes,
I don't know this man.
For good, I don't know this man. Or complicated, I don't know this man. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
I'm very intrigued by him. I think he is. They did such a good job of making him really interesting enough to where you mourn the fact that you don't know him. That's super effective, and they did it in a very short amount of time.
Yes.
But also I don't know this man.
They wrote that really well. Come on, baby. You can come up. Okay. That's fine. She keeps halfway putting her paws up on the desk, but because the setup is different, she's not committing.
She's I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I don't know about this. You're so funny. She's acting like the most cat-like that she, I think, ever has.
A good one.
Okay.
Okay, the next character is going straight into black. It's the confectioner.
I
didn't like her at all.
No, I didn't like her either. But again, she is one of those characters that is like actually supposed to be like a mid-tier villain in the anime too, and she definitely follows through on that. So bleh.
Yeah,
I don't think she's a sinkhole, but I think she's a bleh.
I agree. Yeah. I don't think she's a sinkhole. I will say I like her more. I know more about her than some of the other characters we've encountered, and some of it's interesting. Like there's a really, I don't care about either of these characters, but there is a really interesting sequence where she and the werewolf are like about to go to battle, and they both are like internally talking through how they view the other, and it's like, you looked down on me, you never noticed me and something, but they have this really interesting like dichotomy where they meet there, and there's a moment where I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to do with this character and I think it's interesting, but then they never do anything with it, so it doesn't matter. There's a werewolf, like, it doesn't matter. She's also going here.
The werewolf is the ultimate pharmacist, and she basically she creates performance enhancing drugs that transforms her into like a werewolf creature. So that's basically it.
Yeah, it's like both of them have a moment. There's like a 10-second moment like, where I'm like, yes, and then it doesn't matter.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Like they suggest like a character growth and a character arc with them, and then they just don't follow through on it. I feel like that's sort of the theme of the anime, is like, here's an idea and then we didn't follow through on it.
I'm just tossing Blacksmith in there too, if you're cool with that.
Oh yeah, same thing. I mean, this is again, I would argue that this is another trio. Mm-hmm. They're not the same because they're from the same class as, aren't they not?
No, yes, they're 76, I think.
That's right. They're not that far off from. Yeah. They're only like 1 and 2 years ahead. So I would argue that they're another trio, and they're a shitty like.
Yeah, they're just not great.
Self, like codependent set of problems.
Yeah, and I will say, my entire attitude towards them is every time they were on screen, I'm like, why are we spending time with these people? And then they all died, and I was like, well, okay.
And they're all, and what's funny is that they're all there initially just to set up Nagito too. Is like they're there to set up Nagito's whole luck. Yeah, but power they to an extent.
So much time on them in future arc, and Nagito's not there then. So
no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. Yeah,
like I agree, but that's not what they're there for. Or if it is, they've spent time in a weird way.
No, I actively dislike them. I think they belong in bleh.
I think they're fine in bleh. This is Junko when she doesn't have any memory. I don't know this person.
I don't know this person, and neither does Junko.
Yep. So. Exactly. Okay, Ryoma,
our little criminal,
he
but
is
not
indeed.
For real. I mean,
no, he did a murder.
He did do a murder. Yeah, you're right. He did do a murder. No, he did.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. That was
in the real world.
His character.
Okay, I mean, Allison, we absolutely can't be doing that right now.
What are you talking about?
We can't be doing that right now. Ryoma is Ryoma, so far as we know, and he did a murder.
Okay, yeah, he did do a murder according to the lore. I
thought you meant that he's a fictional character and therefore none of them did any of the thing. Sorry,
he's a fictional character within Danganronpa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you did mean exactly what I thought you meant. Okay, cool. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
He's fine.
He's fine. He can go in the he's reserve fine court. Tier.
Yeah.
The reserve course
He's
tier.
Perfectly fine. I like his deep voice. I like his character design and deep voice. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's great. I like that he seems to be just like a nice guy.
Yeah. I like that he's got this like, troubled teen with troubled past, like has done crimes and really regrets it, like persona. Anyway, I
he's one of those where I like the bit. It's a bit fine, but it's also very funny, and also it helps that he's like a pleasant character to be around. Every time he's talking, you're like, yeah, I like spending time around this character.
I love that we did his free time events. So yeah, I enjoyed Ryoma. I think he is fine there.
The next character goes in the very bottom of the sinkhole. May his corpse be covered by bears, and may it never see the light of day again. When I say a character who craters the franchise around them, I mean goddamn motherfucking Mitarai. I've never disliked a character as much as I dislike Mitarai, and it's not even his fault. Like he's not a great character, but at least he gave us all this because I loved anime, and that should give him points. But he destroys Danganronpa. I blame him. I blame him for Danganronpa being bad.
Honestly, he is the reason why Danganronpa tanked, at least like in the anime. It's just, I love...
But also, it's beyond the anime is where it ends.
No,
I mean, ruins Danganronpa.
Right. He was the... Okay, we need to give some context a little bit again, because I realize, again, there's folks in chat who haven't seen the anime.
It's not him. It's what he does to the plot. But
yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's also definitely a fail character too. Like he's super cringe.
He is. He's a cringe fail character and all of that. He loves anime.
So in Danganronpa 3, he's part technically of the 77th class.
Yep.
But the imposter is covering for him because he is holed up at home and working on like an anime that he feels is going to be like life-changing. He's the ultimate animator.
Yeah,
is his thing.
He's the ultimate animator, and there's this interesting thing that happens in the narrative where it feels like a Rube Goldberg machine. Where it's like, okay, the ultimate imposter. Who was the ultimate imposter in school? He must have been imitating somebody. Why don't we have a secret extra member of the 77th who isn't on the island in Danganronpa 2, and that'll be who the despair guy is, who the imposter is imitating. Okay, well, who is the extra? Well, let's make him an animator. That would be interesting because this is an anime. Well, what's the animator's deal, and what was he doing when he wasn't on the island, and was he part of despair? Well, how about he's such a good animator that he makes a anime that brainwashes you? Well, shit. If there's an anime that brainwashes you, does Junko know about it? Well, if Junko knows about it, why would she not use that to solve all of her problems? And this is where things start to crater, because suddenly Junko has in her hands a Deus Ex Machina anime, which just does her entire plot for her.
Yes.
There's no need to be the ultimate analyst, because the ultimate analyst has narrowed in on the only solution needed other than blackmailing Juzo with the fact that he has a crush on a guy. And that is an anime that makes people evil and kill themselves. The end.
Or kill for her, or like
evil, or kill themselves, and that's it. Did you wonder how Junko did it? That's it. That's the answer to all of it.
Evil anime.
How did the remnants become evil? It wasn't that Junko systematically manipulated their weaknesses and their fears and their insecurities and twisted their positives into negatives and turned them into killing machines in the way that Danganronpa 2 set up. It's that they watched a bad anime.
Yeah,
and then they're bad.
They watched like did they watch his anime, or did they watch like a thing that she made? Yeah, based off of his brainwashing techniques. Like, basically,
I'm oversimplifying because otherwise I'd have to go into the weird thing with Chiaki's execution. But like, it doesn't matter. What matters is Junko texted out to the entire world a make evil video, and they all watched it, and they all died. That's it.
It's such a like you said, it is an actual like sinkhole for
it's a literal
what brings
sinkhole.
It down.
It's like the moment the concept is introduced, the question of why would this not simply answer all the questions becomes inevitable, and then it does. It's just really it's a real bummer because there's so much interesting that they could have done, but the moment they introduce Mitarai, it feels like it just became this death spiral. of like, well, then if then, all the way down into nobody's interesting and the story's over.
Yeah, exactly. Because it both simultaneously was like a plot device that they had to realize since they introduced it, but while also being like the easy way to resolve everything.
Yeah,
simultaneously.
It's like we've only got 24 episodes, and not really. We only have 12 episodes because of the Despair Hope arc. So, or the future Despair arc. I'm oversimplifying. It's not just an anime. It's not, but like there's Mitarai. It's like the moment Mitarai, it's actually really interesting again on a rewatch. The anime's going pretty well. Like, not great, but it's going pretty well. And then the episode that Mitarai is introduced, it tanks. And it's wild. So anyway, I hate this kid.
Yeah, he's such a problem with the narrative. He just destroys it, and it sucks. It just sucks.
It just sucks because, like, again, there's a lot that I could have really liked about the anime, but this kid is the reason for most of them aren't.
I mean, he does drop the single greatest zinger of all time.
He does.
In the show. That plus Live and Die by the Meme. Kamakura.
Live and Die by the Meme said Izuru Kamakura is maybe the highlight of that show for me. It's up there. It's really strong.
It really does it. Okay. All right.
Also, Mitarai does spend a grand total of about 1.5 minutes crawling around on the shore of a river that one time. So.
What are they going for? It's bizarro. Like, it's so weird. And he ends up being like again, spoiler. Like, he ends up being like the intended final villain for the show.
It's great because then all of the remnants can T-pose at him, and then he stops. They just get a T-pose in his direction. He's like, "You're right."
They do walk in and go like, "Not today, motherfucker," and he's like, oh, "Okay."
Oh my god. Anyway, that's Mitarai. The sinkhole was reserved for him, but there are others that belong in it.
The end of that show. Okay,
really
we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going.
God.
We have like how many? We have a couple more to get through.
We
We're
do.
almost
We have
there.
Sakura.
S tier.
Okay, sure.
Super high. I mean, she's also just a good character. I would say like she's either top of just a good character, but also I would put her at like maybe lower down on like super high school level. Like
I'm fine with Sakura being in super high school level. Yeah, I really like Sakura a lot.
She is again one of those extremely realized characters that I feel like I really, really understand, and I feel like her arc is really good and really beautiful, and like she's really important to Danganronpa 1, like to that narrative as a whole, and I would say also to Danganronpa. Like she's just like I think she like what she brings to the story is like this ground.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, no. She ain't an Ethernet cable.
That's not good. We need that for the stream.
Not the important one. She didn't eat the important one. She ate the other one.
Okay, good. Shit.
It's unfortunate.
A knife? No, that's Corey. Corey's the one that has the knives.
Corey's the one with the knife. Basil just casually eats key cables right out from under literally my feet.
God damn it. But she brings this like groundedness to the narrative, and like she weights it and sort of says like, okay, like here are the real like stakes. Like here's what we're doing. And I feel like it's a really significant turning point for Danganronpa, where like, you know, it was a game that started off as like a satire, and then it was like, okay, now let's like actually have like an emotional beat here that really, really matters, you know?
I completely agree.
So love her. Top tier for me. So I will stand Sakura till the day I die. So love her so much.
Next character is going in black. This is Mahiru's friend who does a murder and then gets got.
Oh, yep. Super bleh / I don't know her. But you can leave her in bleh.
Yeah. Sayaka.
Sayaka, also a complicated character.
Yeah.
Weirdly, maybe above 2 mid to function. I think she's probably in reserve course.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think
she's another utility character, but she's an interesting utility character.
Yeah, she was like the gun that fired off Danganronpa, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and whereas like Makoto is that like groundwork, like she's more like setting the stage for like what we can do.
Yeah, she sets the stage, you know? She sets the stakes. I will be completely honest, Sayaka is one of those characters that like I mentally circle more than you'd expect. I think there's something really interesting to her. But also she's not there for very long, but I do think she does exactly what she needs to as a character during her time, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. A great way to sort of like get Makoto like moving into the narrative, you know?
So 100%.
Cool.
Shirakuma.
Only a couple.
Yeah, we're almost there. Shirakuma's next.
Shirakuma, I weirdly kind of am okay with.
I like Shirakuma.
You know?
I thought Shirakuma was an interesting part of the game, honestly, and was I like Shirakuma.
Yeah, I do too. I think reserve course for Shirakuma is appropriate. Again, one of the few things
like is maybe strong. Sorry, but like I don't immediately go to the lower tiers. I feel like Shirakuma's
he is kind of too mid to function. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know, like I think he actually is too mid to function.
Yeah, honestly, he's in that sort of way. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, don't dislike Shirakuma though.
Yeah,
but I'm also not like, I don't know. I think this is an appropriate place for Shirakuma.
Yeah, I thought the twist was kind of dumb, but I also liked the rest of the execution around Shirakuma. So like, I'm happy with putting Shirakuma up there.
That's fair.
Shuichi.
Oh, it's your other boy.
I really like Shuichi.
I think he's got to be S tier.
I really like Shuichi. I know he's a slow burn. And I also know a lot of people he doesn't grow on. A lot of people just don't like Shuichi, but I really like him. I think he's just such a thoroughly realized character.
Another one. Yes. Yeah. In such a distinct way that is not any of our other protagonists or like, you know, anti-heroes that we've had. Mm-hmm. He is, but he is also like so clear, yet also so complicated. And I just, you described him as always having his like eye on the prize, or, you know, like always, what did you say exactly? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he keeps his eye on the prize, which is not
he never loses sight of like what the, you know, what the situation is.
Yeah,
you know.
Yes, he tries to stay focused on like the true goal, the you know, the truth behind truths type of thing.
Yes,
I just really liked him. I'll completely say this may be an instance where I'm biased because I voiced him, but I really learned to love this guy significantly more the second playthrough than I did my first. Not that I didn't like him the first. I did. I liked him a lot, but like I just like feel like I really connected with him the second time through.
I could really feel that in like the way you played him too, because you did a fantastic job. And I mean, you played both him and Hajime like incredibly, and I love that they're so different.
Boy, yeah, they are
really different. But I love him. What a great like protagonist character, and you like really brought him to life. And I feel like you interpreted his character like very appropriately too.
Thank you. I told you this a couple times, but like his speech patterns and things like that were so utterly unlike my own that sometimes I just like had to like relinquish the reins and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna trust that this Shuichi's gonna talk the way he wants to, and I'm just gonna kind of sit back and let this roll.
Right. It's like Shuichi's talking now, so like
exactly. I'll just sit back. And that doesn't happen very often, but I really found it with Shuichi, so I just like him a lot.
So good. Love it. All right. We're nearly there.
Sonia.
Our tier list is almost done.
We're so close.
Sonia! I think that she should go into just a really good character, maybe reserve course high up, you know?
Yeah, I was feeling reserve course high up, but I'm perfectly fine with putting her in just a good character.
I
she
like
can't go higher
that.
than Kibo though. I actually think this is where she should go. Sorry,
That's totally
I just
fair.
felt weird putting her above Kibo.
That's fair. I would if it were me, I might tick her up one, but I think if you want to keep her under Kibo, that is also fine with me.
I just can't put her like there. I know that sounds weird, but
yes, yeah. No, I totally get it. I love that she feels like she's gonna be a trope, but then she's not.
No, she's just like a horror and murder loving.
She loves true crime.
Yeah,
and like. I just and I love the way she interacts with other characters. I love her relationship with Gundam, and honestly, like the way that she interacts with Hajime is also great too.
Yeah,
like
don't they get engaged? Sort of.
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's like, what are you talking? Oh, yeah,
no, they do.
Her. Yeah, no, you're right. It's her free time event. Yeah. That completely derailed me. Holy shit.
Sorry.
I forgot about that.
Sorry, my bad.
Anyway, I love Sonia, so I think that's a great place for her. Okay.
Chihiro's dad.
Chihiro's dad. Well, like I said, the only like emotional beat that I feel like I actually connected with in Ultra Despair Girls, like that was outside of the like main narrative, you know? And sad to see him go. Rip, my dude.
Yeah, but he made an impact while he was there.
He made an impact and he just seemed to really care, and like that was an actual like interesting, impactful cameo. So I think where he is good. I can't decide if he should be in front of Genocide or okay.
Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah.
I think that's good.
Tenko.
Tenko. I have mixed feelings about Tenko, but I think you feel a little bit more strongly about Tenko. I could be wrong though.
I think Tenko, this is gonna sound silly, but I'd almost put her here. Tenko is a messy character with an incredibly great final act. I just think she's so charming and compelling right before she dies. I think it's frustrating that she died there because I think she could have been a really great like later game character, and I think the bit is just not funny. It's another just not funny bit, but I really loved her in her final chapter. I thought she was great.
Yeah. She was a little walking parade of death flags, like at the end of her chapter. I was not there for the bit, but I do appreciate that she had character growth. And she's like almost a complete character arc, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's still significant and important to like the narrative. Like that was the thing about V3 is that every single character death, whether they were whether they were a victim or whether they were like a blackened, like had a lot of like significance to it, and like everyone took time to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So
we're still talking about them in the final chapter about missing them and their impact and how they've changed and grown because of them. So I like Tenko. I just wish I just didn't like the narrative I'm fine with putting her there.
She can hang there.
Territory is also going there for opposite reasons.
So like normally I would put Teru in Sinkhole.
Yeah.
However, he is one of those characters that oddly gets redeemed in the anime.
Redeemed is such a funny word because it's just the same joke. It's not like they do anything to improve him, but they make the joke funny. It's really it's remarkable that if you do that joke but it's funny, it's funny as opposed to the worst thing imaginable. He's surprisingly, I laughed every time.
Every time he opened his mouth, it was hilarious.
Time I laughed in the anime. So, like, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, it's just Teru. It's not like they do or change him at all, but he's funny.
They kind of, I would say, if like if folks are asking like, what did the anime do? They just kind of like reframed his jokes a little bit and made him like, I don't know, less creepy.
Yeah, he's just not the problem. Like, I think that's the main difference. Is like
he's just like a little horny teenager instead of being like an actual
he's not a
like
predator.
Gross creeper.
Yeah, he's just that's exactly it. They just made him a funny horny teen. And it's never directed towards anyone, I think is also something that helps. There's never a target. It's just kind of like he's just doing one-liners is really all he's doing. He's more of a like just a little chaotic bisexual in it is more accurate. And again, one of the other canonically queer characters that in other media gets screwed over by the adaptation. Yeah, it's but like to be clear, he's still black, but it is funnier. It is funnier.
They somehow like just made it not bad anymore. So that is one of the few things I will give the anime credit for doing that.
Next up we have Smoogs.
Samoogie. Oh, I also have complicated feelings about her, but I would say that she should probably be like in the just a good character.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I called her so early,
right out the gate, immediately.
Even though it was a joke, but I can't remember if I said this on our playthrough or not, but I'm sure I did, where like it's one of those jokes that's kind of like simulation theory where, you know, I kind of like, I make it as a joke and I can kind of like, haha, like run with it. But then the longer she persists and the more we see of her doing or not doing things, the more you begin to question, like, okay, well, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
There's nothing to contradict it. And the longer it goes on, you're like, well, wait a sec. No, I completely get it. Yeah, I also like what I will say is I found her way funnier the second playthrough. What's funny is actually I completed her social link. Hers was the first social link I completed my playthrough. Like, it's not that I didn't like her, but I just found her much funnier once you're paying attention to her, and we were the whole time, mostly because of the running gag. Yeah, I think she's a really interesting like face for the audience, but then you realize why she's the literal face for the audience. Interesting one.
Yes, I just, as a mastermind too, I think she's really, really interesting. I think she gets muddled in my head between like our joke / personal interpretation of her versus like maybe how she actually is in the text. I know like we joked a lot at the very end about her like being this like actress, producer, writer, absolutely obsessed with Danganronpa, like harried, like I have to make this work. She
had the crazy dark circles. She had the, you know, I don't know, that felt true to me. I agree. I don't know. I agree with what you're saying though. It's unclear how much that is true and how much that is what we were imposing on her, but it's also similar to the other thing. It feels so correct.
Yeah, that's how I interpret her, at least, and I'm kind of gonna stick to it. Is that she's so devoted to the medium, and it has like brought her to like the state that we see her as the mastermind in V3. So great character. Like, I agree. Not my favorite mastermind, I would say, of the three. She probably ends up in third place between like Junko and Kamakura. But that's not to say that I don't like her. You know, like I do really enjoy her as a character. So
I completely agree with both of those sentiments. I think she's super interesting, and I think she does mechanically what she's needed to super, super well. But I do find Junko and Kamakura more I'd rate them above her.
Yeah, totally.
It's Deus Ex, a neuroscience.
Deus Ex boyfriend?
Yeah, this is Junko's boyfriend. I'll go ahead and throw him in. I've never met this person.
That's fair.
He's just the, like, but how did they? It's this guy. Yeah, if there's any single thing left in Danganronpa where you're like, but I wonder how they, it's this guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that I don't know him except how you've described him just as like the Deus Ex Machina character, and I'm like, I'm fine with only knowing him in that context and then moving on with my life.
There's there's honestly just no reason for you to have any more information. It's him. There he is.
I think he has a brief like 6-frame cameo in the anime, and
he does, and it's the funniest shit ever. It flashes to him looking out a window, and then he's gone forever. This guy also has a brief cameo. This is the Ultimate Spy.
Okay. Yeah.
And then this person is also on there. I don't know.
I don't know who that is either. That's unfamiliar. Aoi's brother.
This is Aoi's brother, who was, very briefly, but meaningfully there.
He sure is a character. He's at the end there, and then the ultimate sinkhole of all sinkholes in the Danganronpa franchise. Put that motherfucker in that bottom tier.
Him. Yep.
He was this hole was dug for us to bury him deep within it. Yeah. Fuck this guy. I hate him.
I cannot believe they made this character. I cannot believe they wasted Matthew Mercer on this character. I cannot believe I had to play a video game with this character in it. Unbelievable. Get him out of here, please.
Just awful. We don't even need to like get into it, but he's just like canonically the worst.
Yeah, he's just really bad.
He's awful. We don't need him. We don't need him. We don't need him in this franchise at all. So get him out. We did it.
This is a tier list right here.
Okay, take us back up to the top, and we'll head back down. Okay, so at our top, this is our super high school level, and then we have our just really good characters. How are we feeling? Like anything we want to change?
I'm scanning.
Any final word from chat? Is there anybody here that has like any like strong objections? I mean, this is our tier list, so like we can do whatever the fuck we want. But
this is feeling good
at the top.
Me. Sorry, as I'm going through it, it's feeling pretty good to me.
I love it.
Yeah.
I kind of like, I think this is it. Like, there's no one here that's really.
I feel a little bad that Soda's here amongst the rest of this crew, but I don't feel badly enough to want to up him to the next tier.
Yeah, it's like he's kind of like in the upper level of bleh. Like, I feel like, I guess Victor's asking any choices for top in each tier. That's actually a great thing. Like maybe we do a final pass at who's our top in each tier. So like S tier, Monokuma. Yeah, it's got.
Sorry, we don't have to do that, but I feel that utterly and completely.
I think that is so correct. Yes, I think that is so correct. I think the bear has to be at the top of S tier. That feels accurate.
This is my personal feeling. I'm happy to change my mind on it.
I think I agree with that. Yeah, I think Fuyuhiko and Kaito are and maybe Maki too are very close behind. But I think putting Aoi up front is appropriate. Yeah. Aoi top right, really good character.
I do that though.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. And then what's our next here? Reserve course. Kibo, the king of reserve course.
I can't move him. This is just where he lives. This is his home.
Yeah. As far as second in line, I mean, I guess Genocider, that's probably accurate.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like I could shuffle the lower, like, from there out, but these are the two at the top, easily.
For sure, yeah. Okay, too mid to function, it's Munakata, like, through and through. Maybe tied with Shirokuma.
I feel like these have to be the top two. I'm looking at the others, and, like, even just to there, this feels good.
Yeah, that's very accurate. I don't know this. I've never met this person. Rentaro being top there is also very appropriate.
Yeah.
I think that's the way it has to be.
Yeah, this feels correct. Like I said, there's a few that we could probably shuffle around, but this is ultimately what matters.
Yeah, for sure.
Saved or Cursed by the Adaptation. I'd probably do one.
Yeah. I would put, Kamakura at the top of that one. Yeah. I would even maybe move. No, Teru can stay down there.
I don't feel strongly enough about that. This is him getting lucky. This is
He just like
he should
eked out of this one
that he's there because he would be elsewhere.
That is very true.
Yeah, I would flip-flop between... Kamakura is inarguably the most wrecked by the narrative, though.
Yeah, he really is.
Bleh, are we rating this on the best or the worst of Bleh, is the real question there.
Oh, that's a good point. I would say the most Bleh. The most Bleh character.
Well, if that's the case, these are fine.
Then the kids.
Yeah.
No, do it for me. Put him there.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm happy to do that. Actually, honestly, wait a sec.
Tengen's pretty close.
Fine. Mew would go above Mikan.
Yeah.
And then probably these. Nope, you're fine.
Rancid vibes from that trio. Yeah. No, the confectioner goes in front of.
Yeah, she's the worst.
She's the worst.
Okay.
Of those.
Yeah, that feels more correct.
Yeah, I will dunk on Juzo till the day that I die too. But I also will never stop thinking about him, and it's fucking me up. I hate it. I'm cursed by this man.
And then
he sucks.
I guess if we're going worst of the worst, I probably feel that.
Can you scroll down a little bit?
Oh yeah, sorry. If we're going worst of the worst, that's probably my feeling.
That's it. That's 100% it. That's the worst of the worst. Like worst to the smallest sinkhole, I suppose.
Yeah. Monotaro's okay. I mean,
I did it. Yeah, that's it.
That's our tier list. I'm quite happy with it.
I am too. I am very pleased with this. Yeah, you're totally right, Victor. We have to post it on Twitter as our definitive take now. So actually, I think we'll probably do that.
Yeah, I think we'll do that.
Yeah.
We've done nothing wrong and nobody can critique us for this.
Oh my god. We have strong feelings about Danganronpa. Oh my god.
I guess that's fair.
This has been
I swatched Monotaro and Monosuke because of the pregnancy bit.
Oh, thank you. Okay, that's
and
honestly
Monokid
good.
gets to be at the bottom because I hate him.
Yeah, because he almost destroyed your vocal cords. Yeah. Wow. This has been cathartic, I have to say.
It's been a joy.
So good.
I feel like we've worked through some excellent stuff today. And I've just really enjoyed talking about Danganronpa.
Me too. I could just do this for another hour, but I know we're already an hour over.
I know. It's probably time.
We gotta wrap it up. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. So appreciate it. Y'all have been amazing, and I'm glad that everyone here has just as strong feelings about Danganronpa as we do.
I know. This has been so much fun. And thank you so much for your just being here with us, honestly, and your thoughts and your contribution, and watching Danganronpa with us, and some of y'all powered through the end of the playthrough to come see this, and it's just it means a lot. It means a whole lot, and I'm so glad that we got to share this series and this game and all of it with you all, so thank you. Thank you for being a part of this.
We really, really appreciate it. It's been a long 4-year journey, but also it feels like we just started playing them. It's so funny. I'm really sad that it's gonna be the end of our Danganronpa era, but we'll always be, Danganronpa girlies at heart.
This will always be a piece of our hearts.
Yeah,
it's the power of
absolutely.
Fiction. And we'll keep that with us.
The power, oh my god, Gina, that's it. We have to end the stream. That's it. It's the power of fiction. fuck. Oh my god. Thank you all so much. Yeah, thank you for going on this wild journey with us, and thank you for hanging with us tonight. Yeah, we so appreciate it.
Oh. Well, we will see you all in the next one, folks, and thank you for being a part of this journey.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.